months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Welcome back to the DoDEA Esports Pacific Championships. We are currently awaiting to get into one of the semifinal matches for Valorant, where we have got two great teams, Guam High School versus Yokota High School, ready to face off for a position in the Grand Championship. I'm your host Jacob Palmer, joined by Danner Hill to call all of the action for you. We've just been discussing all the ifs, ands, and whats that might be associated with this match, but the only thing that's really going to answer our questions is what stage are we playing on, what agents are chosen, and then ultimately how well do these two teams play those two agents, because we have been speculating wildly for a bit, but at the end of the day, speculation can only get you so far.
It can. You can only make so many guesses before you're wrong or right, and I think right now, I mean, we've made those guesses and we kind of have our prediction on what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the nice things about, being in this profession, I will say. It's just like a meteorologist. The only job where you can be wrong all the time and still keep your job. And that is meteorologist and caster. You know what I mean?
I would totally agree with you. And we are.
I don't dislike meteorologists. Quick disclaimer, it's just a joke. All right, moving on. We have Yokota versus Guam, and Guam is already off to a fast start on Abyss, I must say. This was my one joke. Okay, yeah, I did call it, so yeah, this is what I like to see, a little bit of chaos into the mix. Already, Zentex is getting a double. Nice flank around to take out the backline of Yokota. Now there's just this Sova who can't even get an exit frag. Zentex goes away with a quad in round 2.
What a start for them. Able to get some quick econ going, some quick good guns to their name, and just dropping Yokota, getting that flawless in round 2. They really just rushed site there. I mean, dropping every smoke and wall that they could, utilizing a lot of these abilities, and really, they just capitalized on that site.
All right, we head into the buy phase of the bonus. No new guns for Guam, but Yokota should have a chance to purchase up to full rifles, and it will be here that we determine what the true momentum in this game is going to be. Will Guam just run away with it, or will Yokota win this bonus round, which they should be expected to win? I mean, Guam already has made great progress on toward planting A, but Liam takes it out with a good place headshot. So does Fish. Mark and Fish keep on going. There's just one left for Guam. This is the bonus round for them. We're expected to lose this, so it's just a question now of how many exit frags he can get to put a dent in their credits.
Jet trying to creep through towards this. The smoke's going to go down. It's going to be a gunfight. Oh, they saw Cypher. Maybe not. This is going to be tough right here. They're going to win that one, but the next one through Reyna is not going to go through, and Yokota are going to get a round back.
So it does seem like everything is pretty standard in what we expect to happen so far, although major props to Din Tai Fun there for getting that exit frag. That's sometimes the best. Sometimes it's the best that you can ask for in a situation like that. I mean, it was being closed in on all 3 angles, so making sure that you take away, that full credit purchase. I think it's 2,900 for the rifles, 2,900 credits. I do believe so.
You'd probably know better than me.
Yeah. Bryce has given me the nod here. So, I mean, it is a lot of credits to give up. So,
it is.
So, think of that. Every time you knock someone down, that's sending them a bill for 2,900.
Pay your rent. Ooh, almost gets the wingman off. Clove also using that extra life. Samurai Matt getting 1, almost getting 2. Zayntex getting Mark off of that one. It's going to be through the wall. Alyssa's dad is going to be able to get 1, and now it's a 4v2 in favor of Yokota.
Din Tai Fun in his strategic retreat with Sun Tzu. And if they're fast enough, they could possibly actually get the plant down on A. The only one who can get there to challenge them is the Cypher. And his util will still very well... they run right into the tripwire. How unfortunate. But the real question is, can they at least get the spike planted? That is a credit bonus. Okay, they take him out. Now they got to really make sure that they at least plant it.
And they
Din Tai Fun on a roll with a triple. Bringing this round back. It was 4v2, but all of a sudden, Guam is now favored to win.
Yeah, and you can see Sova right there. He's on just 4 health. if he wants to win this round, he has to be so precise with his shots going into this A site.
It's a bit risky here. I mean, he has his recon dart. I'd at least think that he throws that out in some way, tries to get some sort of info, because it's just would be near impossible for him to just try it dry. He doesn't seem to want to contest anyway and just go off and save, which can't quite blame him for that. Saving the rifle for the other round. Checking his notifications, you know what I mean?
Yep, staring at the sunset. But great round out of Guam. Bringing that one back from the deficit of agents. I mean, right here you see Din Tai Fung getting Fish, and then getting Liam, and then ultimately getting, this is Dad as well, getting that 3K to really put them in the lead and also allow them to plant and get the round.
Guam now with a comfortable lead, 3-1. As we move on into round 5. Losing 2 rounds in losing that last round, I think, is going to put Yokota in a position where they have to save here. We already see the Guardian, Alyssa's dad. He had to settle for a Guardian. Cerulean Knight. Ooh. Oh, Alyssa's dad is able to just, she has his number. Manages to get the headshot. Good start for Yokota.
Oh, Din Tai Fung, Sun Tzu doubling up. Sonar going out, but immediately getting destroyed. You can also see Clove on a very low health on the side of Yokota. Guam looking to go to A site. The only one close enough is going to be Reyna. Cypher and Gecko should be able to plant that one. You see Wingman going out, getting the plant. This is going to be in favor of Guam here. And also, you can see Gecko has that ult.
Could have possibly gotten a flank there. Might have another chance if they're quick enough. Going to run right into that Sova around the corner here. Finds the target. One shot to the head and gets it. Moves around that corner a bit too fast, though, and gets ambushed by Liam. Liam, the only one left from Yokota. Guam in a very solid position. Checks the back, throws out the eye, and yeah, that's a rough one.
A little too close for comfort there. It was a good idea to try out throw out the eye and try and blind whoever was there, but when they're in your face, it's hard to get them off of you.
And now I was saying that I think they're going to have to settle for a few rounds. We saw a little bit of kind of a half buy in the last round as they tried to buy the best they could, but this is well and truly an economy round for Yokota. Just a few sheriffs and frenzies, as they'll look to fight back next round. Unless we can see some sort of thrifty here from Yokota. Guam heavily favored to win this. Moving around with the bot, throws that out, also has the Dizzy on deck. Kept at bay for now by the Cypher Cage. One lurker, however, this is interesting. Their one lurker is the one who's actually holding the spikes. So there are 2 lurking actually. Yeah, it's all a ruse here. But here's the thing: the bait actually still manages to get an elimination.
Oh, it
so
works.
That's
it works
pretty good.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yokota realizing a little too late that they have to rotate all the way to that B site. So much time. Cerulean also getting Mark on the way. Reyna and Sova trying to get there first. Cover this good. There's Syntax getting one.
Now it's going to head all the way up into tower. Again, the crosshair placement has been on point for Guam. Just one left. Doesn't manage to pick up Fish.
No flawless.
But he does take a good amount of damage, down to 20. No way to check out around this corner, however. They don't want to be too careless. They already have their win. They don't want to hand over too many credits to him effectively. Oh, might come into a confrontation here. Long range, finds it. There you go.
Cerulean Knight with just the better aim there quickly.
That was probably one of the best fake outs I've ever seen. Not only did it completely clear B, but it turns out their diversion actually did still do a heck of a job on A, picking up that one pick. It was Sun Tzu who got the elimination, and that was such a well-strategized round. I have to think the original Sun Tzu would look at that in pride as well. It was really art.
It was. And going into this one, they're all going to push A. Might be reminiscent of one of the earlier rounds where they just used a lot of their utils to try and rush this site. You can see walls, you can see grenades going up. You can see clothes, shadows popping up, and Dizzy going out. There's going to be one, there's going to be two through the smoke. Liam getting two, almost getting three. But Ovo eliminates that one, and Cerulean Knight covering them up. Guam only losing one. Dakota now struggling. You can see Alyssa's dad avoiding the boombot. Able to try and turn the corner. They saw us. Oh. They saw Jet barely. Able to get some overheal. They're going to watch this corner. They're going to lose that fight. But they do have their ult, so they will get a second chance.
Chamber gets the hit and rendezvous out of there, and that'll be a round win for Yakota. What a spray transfer to start things off by the Reyna.
No fireworks today.
Seriously.
I mean, they got hit with the Dizzy to start out with, and I thought that was kind of might have been the end, but as soon as it wore off, they just almost instantly just flicked on over and pulled off that perfect transfer.
It was even during it, too. They were able to get one or two of them. Just great recognition to know where those players would be. Just being able to capitalize on that, getting a round back towards yourselves, closing the gap to 3 rounds.
Throwing out the recon dart, 2 bounces. Doesn't look like gets anybody. Everyone coalesced around B. Doesn't seem like there's too much of a fake-out operation from Guam. It seems they truly want to push up here, although that route is heavily smoked, and Zentex gets the first blood of the match, picks up 2 now. Cerulean Knight gets another. A lot of these picks also have been just clean headshots.
They sure have.
And we can also see happening right this moment, we have got the other semifinal going on right now. Between,
Zama
if I'm not
versus
mistaken,
Humphreys.
Zama and Humphreys. And boy, someone is just not having a good time there. 9-2, that is... Yeah, I'm a little bit glad now that we're taking a look at this one on this side of the bracket there, because yeesh.
Yeah, plus here we get a new map. There it's just Ascent.
Yeah, it's Ascent, you know. This is the better one in every way.
New change of pace here. And for right now, Guam, they're going to look and they're going to settle on A right now. Cypher and Rain are the 2 on point.
Fish and Liam both holding back, but Liam has only the Ghost. No rifle for him. But they recognize they have plenty of time, over a minute. They might... Oh, are they going to try their fake-out operation again, or are they going to rotate over as a full team? Looks like it's might be the latter with 1 left to lurk, just to divert a little bit of attention.
Yeah, probably just leaving Clove there to make some noise, try to convince them that they're going to stay there. But what's going to happen? They're going to see them right there, potentially through that mid. You can see Jet trying to peek that one out. Ooh, even with the Blade Storm, not going to get anything. Sun Tzu does get Samurai Mac, though, through the walls. Antex is going to get Liam on the rotation back, and they're going to get Fish as well. Keeping it flawless. Chamber and Clove on the side of Yakota, the last 2 left.
Oh, that's a dangerous peek there, but manages to survive. And
ooh, there's one.
Oh, tour de force out. Dangerous gun to peek up against. And they'll just smoke that off. And they realize that he's got to defuse the spike, so he has to come to them.
And Clove knows where he is. It's going to be a matter of where those do. Oh, he's going to get it. With the advantage of smokes.
Yeah, I think that's a case of just getting a little bit too greedy there. I mean, whether it's the tour de force or an op, it is a nightmare to try to retake a site with a sniping weapon. So, I mean, if he's already committed to the tour de force, you know, just smoke him off, wait it out, then go. There's no reason that you had to potentially give him 2,900 credits like you just did, but...
Yeah. Oh, and there's another one.
Another one too. And this is where things can turn around. It's at these margins where enough credits are given up over to the other team to where this next round could very well go to Yokota. They're only settling for one Bulldog, but as Bryce informed me earlier, Bulldog is nothing to sniff at, can still do a lot of work on its own.
Sure can. It's also kind of shaping up to be what we saw in that other Valorant game, that 9-2. This one's a 7-2, little bit behind, but supposedly on the same track to determine who's going to be going on to that grand final round. Hunter's Fury coming out, not finding anyone at the moment. Third one's going to go, and it might just, it's not going to tag anybody. No one's going to get hit by that.
Meanwhile, the main push still seems to be focused on toward A. Two lurkers in B. One of them gets taken out, so the push has to go through A here. And nice wallbang right around the corner to take out Liam. Guam is now much more on even footing. They'll be able to get the plant onto A. Sun Tzu keeping an eye on everything. Just trying to see if he can spot anyone rotating through mid. He wants his flank. They take the bait, they take the engage, and they walk away unscathed. Alyssa's dad now up to a double. Fish also lands a headshot onto Cerulean Knight.
2v3. Oh, there's going to be one.
Oh, not dead yet here.
One enemy remaining.
Xin Taifun also keeps it going, and the triple there by Zayn also finds it. Full house there, a double and a triple for Guam.
Nice and simple, keeping it going. And we kind of saw that fake again. They rotated to A, and all they had to deal with was Reyna. And after eliminating her, they had all the time in the world to plant that and continue to guard the point.
So maybe this match wasn't closer than the other one that we saw, the other semifinal match going on. But it is still taking place on Abyss, which still makes it better in my mind.
It does.
Already thrown out the dart, and that just immediately gets placed. They are wise to that placement. Oh,
Thrash going out
nice.
quick.
And they, and they throw the paint shells on there so they don't have to go into a bad angle. That was beautifully played.
Doesn't win that fight. I thought there
Oh!
was plenty of headshots. I thought
He did get a headshot, but the gun he was using, he wasn't using a Vandal.
Spectre doesn't do that much damage, but just like that Spectre does. Sun Tzu getting 2 of them and getting 3. And now we're at a 9-2.
Last round before the switch.
And we can also see Zama currently leading 11-3 in the other part of the semifinals. So we will know in just a few minutes what two teams are going to face off against each other. But everything is heavily favoring a Guam v Zama matchup.
Which would be what a few of us casters were talking about earlier. Me and Bryce especially, we were able to see a preview into that match. We saw it during the round robin stage, Guam versus Zama take place, and that was actually a really close match. I think it was close to a 13-10 finish in favor of Zama. Yeah, I think my memory serves me right. I'm getting the nods of approval right now, but we do have to focus in on this Guam game. Din Tai Fung getting a kill onto Mark. Yokota already down 2. Oh, but Liam's gonna get one back.
Cerulean Knight trades it though. Keeps Guam in a firm lead. In fact, Din Tai Fung is just going to opt for the heck of it. It's the last round of the first half, so why not? This is a very favored round for Guam, and that should do it. Another elimination in the pocket. As we head on over to the Zama Humphreys game. Zama currently has the spike down, up 3-2 on Ascent. Already the paranoia is keeping the 2 defusers for Humphrey at bay. They're trying to get as much information as they can, but time is running out. Even though they get the ping on the Cypher, they are finding themselves revealed as well, though. Nice gunplay by Jay.
He's got to watch out. Smoke's going out. Gotta watch. Oh, man. You can see that one. There's one. You got to watch Cypher. Oh. And you can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to flick left and right, trying to scan the site, see where that Cypher was, but it was just right in the corner where he wasn't looking.
And that's not the only bad news Humphreys has beyond obviously just losing the round, but they are not going to be able to fight fairly in this very crucial last round. There are three. They're having to go for a Guardian, Ares, Spectre, one Sheriff. It's going to be rough. Ascent can definitely have some long sightlines, so Zama is going to choose to push A, and I think that's a wise choice. It's the one that, you know, has a few longer sightlines onto it rather than B, so really make that gun advantage work for him.
A lot of smoke's going out right into this hallway. You can see Gecko's Molly going out, and they're gonna rotate to B site and also chase down that Cypher Sova through the hallway. You can see nothing's gonna happen.
Good shot by Jay. Puts Humphreys to an early lead. Very crucial, too. If he was the one rifle holder, and if one of his teammates can pick up the gun, that's not going to be a good turn of events, however, with the neural theft as well. Very good ult use by Zama. Now they know where everyone from Humphreys is.
Spike planted. No charges left.
Spike planted, coming down to the last moments. You need something.
I love that gamer tag, 4 FPS. That's brilliant.
I think there was another one. I can't remember what team they were on, but it was 60 hertz.
Well, you know, I got to say, Humphreys, you tried your best, but that 4 FPS, you get the prize in my mind for best gamer tag. Certainly better than cartoned milk dust on the same team. I just read that and I went, ew.
Ew. Not appealing and sounds good. We are seeing an outlaw, though. One of the first snipers on this map. Oh, they see Reyna. Not through. Liam's going to get the wallbang on that one.
Does look like Guam won the pistol round in the second half. That's going to put them, should they win this favored round for themselves, at match point. Very little Yokota can do in this situation. It's got to play it one round at a time and just focus on getting that next pick. And just like that, that's how you do it. Nice play by Liam.
Very nice play, especially with the Sheriff. Just perfect precision. There's one on Clove. There's two on Sova. And all that's left is Cypher hiding behind a wall and flashed. That was a big 2K out of Raze.
Last player standing.
Cerulean Knight also turns it into a 3K. Liam around the corner, not going to be able, With a Sheriff like that, if you miss the first shot, you're done for.
Yeah. And now Guam leads 12-2. Looking to replicate what Zama just finished off, getting that 13-2 win.
So what is match point is also their bonus round, so should be expected that they're not favored to win this one round, but then the score is going to be 12-3, and they'll have 9 rounds to play with to just get one win.
Is that obstacle? That goes there.
This bonus round starts out. Sun's going to put down, he's going to focus his util on to B.
Good call on doing that. As he's going to get that one, Liam's going to get Cerulean Knight. First blood goes down.
Have one of these.
Coda just waiting. You have 3 on site with Cypher, Jet, and Gecko. What's going to happen? They trip the wire.
Ooh.
Sun Tzu knows that he's there. Alyssa's dad falls into the abyss. Fish gets the revenge on that one. Jet's hiding behind that box. You can see them. Coda are going to get the spike planted.
Ooh, Din manages to find one, and it's traded back, but the fact that they're trading fairly evenly is great news for Guam.
Ooh.
Now they are dead even, 2v2, still a chance to bring this back.
Clove's got to hit their shots here.
Yeah, they do. They are overhealed, so they were at 150, but it does look like that wore off.
One enemy
Now it's, oh my goodness, could they actually win it right here?
Grabbed a Vandal there, and they're in a good position. They just have to win through the smoke. What's going to happen?
Oh, the spray and pray gets answered right there.
Oh, and so he was down to 30 health. One more bullet, and he would have been out. But like you said, 12-3.
Mm-hmm. And again, that was just the bonus round with the leftover guns from round 2. Now Guam's going to have full rifles. The fact that Yokota lost so many, lost 4 in that last round, means I am pretty darn sure they're not going to be able to full purchase here, so really favoring Guam.
Yeah, and you can see what they were able to do even with not having their preferred guns. They were able to bring it down to a 1v1. It looks like everyone's going to go towards A site. Let's see Rays up there. Albot goes out. Doesn't see anybody. Except the blinds go out and plenty of smokes. Grenades and boom bots alike. Everybody's just trying to rush this site. Cerulean Knight gets Alyssa's dad. Kodo's going to be able to plant before Cerulean Knight gets Marmac and Fish. And the Showstopper comes out. He's going to get Mark. And Liam gets Ovo. And you can also see a Reyna ult coming out for Yokota. They're going to get 1. Cypher there is going to go down.
Oh, man. No.
It's down to Cloven
The
Rays.
Empress clutch? No.
No. Wasn't even close to sight. Not able to defend.
It would have been better had that not been planted, because at least, you know, that's the way you win, is you get all the eliminations there. All right, so we've all got it set up. Guam wins this semifinals. Zama wins the other, so it will, in fact, be a Guam v. Zama grand final, which scares me a little bit considering it's a best of 3. I mean, you were saying in the best of 1 it was 13-10 there.
It was a really close game.
This could go on a ways.
Yeah, but we're just gonna have to play that out. I mean, best of 3, first to 2 map wins.
Well, the one thing is that Zama is going to be a lot more practiced on Ascent. I mean, that is going to be a key fact. But if Abyss gets brought back in, I got to think Guam has got to be feeling good about their chances. I mean, if you hope that Zama hasn't played on Abyss at all this tournament.
Yeah, but who knows? There was a lot of games that weren't covered through this round robin stage. We were only able to cover so many, so there's a lot of unknowns that could have happened.
Well, there is only one unknown left, and that is who wins the Grand Championship. The DoDEA Esports Pacific Grand Championship, we have already crowned the winner in Rocket League. Now it is just down to 2, Guam versus Zama, to decide who will win. And are you feeling gutsy enough to make a prediction at all?
Ooh, that one's tough. I don't know. Both teams won that semifinal round fairly convincingly. I think this is going to be a slugfest. I don't know if I could make a prediction right now.
I am.
You are?
I'm going to call it for Guam.
Oh.
The fundamental skills that I saw there, the ability to get those headshots, the crosshair placement was just so on point. That is the most polished I have seen a team in their individual skills. That I think that's enough to carry Guam over. They were seeded first for a reason, and I think they're going to take the championship.
And honestly, I mean, you probably know best, but I mean, they did. They played their hearts out. They were playing so on point, only losing a few rounds. And I would totally agree with you in the crosshair placement. They were playing phenomenal.
Well, we just have to wait until both these teams get settled in, and then we will be ready to head into the match. I mean, big question is what are going to be the picks and bans for the stages?
Yeah, since it is a best of 3, we're going to have a little less of the pick and ban process. So I'm going to be curious to see what map we're going to see first. Potentially Ascent, maybe. But I guess every option's on the table.
Every option is. I would have to think Ascent I mean, we've just played it so much throughout this tournament. It'd be hard to believe that we don't see it at all for the grand final.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of Pearl. We saw like a fraction of Pearl, but we haven't seen a full game on Pearl.
I'm trying to think what else.
Pearl, Split. I mean, I already gave my wishes, you know.
True.
Again, for everyone, that's Split, Breeze, and Pearl. So maybe that's, you know, I'm just going to focus for the next few minutes on that. Just try to send, you know, the brainwaves, the aura there, law of attraction, whatever that junk is. But anyway, I'm just going to hope for the best. And we will be back in a few minutes with the answers on where the grand finals matches will be taking place. Do not go away. Exciting championship match coming up. Zentex is getting a double. Nice flank around to take out the backline of Yakota. And now there's just this Sova who can't even get her quick enough. Gonna run right into that Sova around the corner here. Finds the target. One shot to the head and gets it. Moves around that corner a bit too fast, though, and gets ambushed by Liam. Liam, the only one left from Yakota. Guam in a very solid position. Checks the back. Throws out the eye. Much of a takeout operation from Guam. It seems they truly want to push up here, although that route is heavily smoked, and Zentex gets the first blood of the match. Picks up 2 now. Cerulean Knight gets another. A lot of these picks also have been just clean headshots. They sure have. They are overhealed, so they were at 150, but it does look like that wore off. Now it's, oh my goodness, could they actually win it right here?
The Vandal there in a good position. They just have to win through the smoke.
What's happened? Oh, the spray.
The sight. Cerulean Knight gets Alyssa's dad. Dakota's gonna be able to plant before Cerulean Knight gets Marmac and Fish. And the showstopper comes out. He's gonna get Mark. And Liam gets Oboe. You can also see Arena ult coming out for Yakota. They're gonna get 1. Cypher there is gonna go down.
Man, no.
It's down to Cloven
The
Rays.
Empress clutch.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
And welcome back to the DoDEA Esports Pacific studio. We are all set to crown the final champion of the night. It has all been leading up to this. Zama versus Guam in our Valorant Grand Final. Of course, this being a Grand Final means that the best of ones that we have played throughout the entire night are no more. It is a best of 3, and if you know how long Valorant matches can go on, we could be here a while. So I think we should waste no time in getting to the actual game. Us getting to the game, meaning me, Jacob Palmer, your host, and Danner Hill, my co-host, all of the action. And I'll soon be joined by Bryce Jensen, rotating in once we get one game underway. So, as we are ready to head into the picks and the bans, what maps, what stages are going to be brought forward for the DoDEA Esports Pacific Grand Championship?
Oh, that's a big question. There's a lot of maps that could happen. I mean, there's so many things that could be played out, but right now we do have to look at this third place matchup before we get into the championship match. Humphreys versus Yokota. It's going to be on a different map than what we're used to seeing.
This one being Pearl, kind of been the king of the ones that we don't get to see the whole matchup, although we are at the very beginning in the pistol round, and Humphrey's already off to a good start, winning the first round in the third place matchup, which we will show as we wait to get into the championship. Good start for Humphreys overall, defending first. They'll now move into their second round, choose what guns they want to try to bonus with. Although I'm not really seeing too many purchases for Humphreys at all. They're really kind of sticking with their, with just their sidearms for now.
Yeah, just kind of sticking with it, letting this play out for now. Kind of deciding what they want to do. Survey dart going out. Soar, some seekers. See plenty of people going around checking sites and so many smokes. And you have a Marshall kill from Ray and 2 coming out from Carton Milk Dust. Oh, and a third coming out on the Samurai Mac.
Dakota, oh man, falls to a quad from Carton. That is a very forceful win and spells great things for them as we head into the bonus round.
Very good start for Humphreys, starting off this third place match. Going up 2-0, that's a good start. It's a good place to be. And by the looks of it, they're going to be going towards this B site. The only one covering that is KO. We do see a lot of smokes going out.
Oh, he's got to be deadly accurate on this Sheriff already. He's missed a few. It's a huge opening. It's going to force one of his teammates, Carton, to move on over. Could definitely do some work on this Spectre. Down Yokota goes with full rifles.
For APS getting Alyssa's dad. There's one. Shots going out left and right. Smokes covering what's going to happen. A trade between Carton Milk Dust, Mark, and Fish. It's a 4v3 right now. Cypher is in blind. There goes KO. All that's left is Fade and Reyna. 6 is going to get Fish. Ooh, maybe they're going to get Liam. They sure do. Sova's on the retreat. Gonna try and chase him down. And defenders are going to take one more round.
That is a very good omen for Humphreys, winning their bonus round. Not just because, I mean, 3-0 obviously, but they get all rifles for free. I mean, that's what is so huge about winning the bonus round is you don't even have to purchase those rifles. So you've got so many credits at your disposal now if you've picked up all the guns dropped by the other team. Meanwhile, the opposite is true for Yokota. They're going to have to go back to pretty basic guns. I see Sheriffs, I see Stingers, and I see our grand final right now. And Haven going to be the first one. First time we're seeing Haven, but it's a good classic stage. I like this. This one also kind of sitting in kind of with the Far East theme, you know. I like this. This is also another great fit.
Indeed. And this isn't our first time seeing Haven on the weekend. We did see it previously in the round robin stage, so this isn't totally unfamiliar to us, but it is also a fun map to start off with, it being that one map with 3 different sites.
Always a bit more to think about where that attacking team is going to go when there are 3 sites involved. Makes it a little bit harder, I would say, for the defending team. So you take another look back here at Pearl. Right now in the 4th round, it seems Humphreys has, both teams have mainly committed themselves toward this A push. What I like about this positioning, though, is you got 2 members of Humphreys, well, now 1 member of Humphreys, but you got them watching those back flanks, which could be very instrumental. But off we go to Haven.
Starting off in this pistol, you see a good chunk of ghosts. Most of Guam choosing that ghost over some abilities going into this first round.
Interesting the fact that that Zama has gone for a bit more of a conventional double initiator composition, but Guam is like, oh, get up and go. They're going double duelist, the Raze as well, which isn't quite as popular on Haven, but maybe they're that comfortable in that agent pick that they can do work on them. I mean, Din Tai Fun is a great threat, though, on this jet. Has been a consistently aggressive player. Trade back and forth, though, between both teams. We're down to 3 apiece as Guam makes their way onto the point and gets the plant.
There's so many swaps coming out. 2 Omens, a Cypher and a Jet left, one of them being that Din Tai Fung. Oh man, coming around the corner. They're going to get one. They're going to not get the second one. It's going to be a trade, but Papadelic is going to get Sun Tzu and should have plenty of time to get this defuse off and get Zama the first round of this grand final.
And even more impressive, he did not take 1 ounce of damage there. He is still at 100.
Yeah, because Din Tai Fung focused on that Omen right at the last second.
You can also see a replay of how these 2 teams got here. As we saw, Guam had a very great start on Abyss. I think they won that round 13-12, 13-2, excuse me. So, I mean, if you look back at their history, there's a lot to look at.
This goes here.
There sure is. I mean, both of these teams very convincingly winning their semifinal rounds coming into this matchup. The best of 3, the long-awaited. Going mainly through this middle here. Looking to favor towards Seaside.
Ooh.
Some intel going out. An idea of where some players are. Rays going down by Contenchi.
Papadelic,
Spike
and
down.
just to get one, so does
enemy
Canute. Zama really playing this second round quite nicely. Din Tai Fun, the only one left, has picked up a gun, picked up the Bulldog, and could do a whole bunch of damage with it. He already has the double. He's going to have to retrieve the spike here from Garage, but that's a narrow hallway with a lot of long sidelines that could be taken. Tricky situation for him.
Very tricky, and a 1v3 is not the best option. As soon as the smoke goes down, it's going to be a gunfight. You just got to hope that their positioning is going to be able to cover them enough. It's going to be Omen.
Nice.
The split second as soon as that smoke goes down, Omen just having the better aim.
But now we get to see if things are going to be runaway or a lot more standard, based on what we saw based on what Danner said when these last 2 teams faced each other. It's a pretty close 13-10. So I would be very surprised if Zama were able to win this bonus round and just completely run away with it, because we've seen a lot of skill from Guam. Initial push, they make their way through A lobby. Going to split evenly between sewers and A lawn. This Gecko holding up right around the exit of A lobby. They're not fearing anything, though. They're going forward through the smoke as well. They throw the bird out. Din Tai Fun manages to find the Gecko. Another Paint Shells pick onto Kahoot. And very fast, very fierce gameplay from Guam. Seems to be working out for them so far.
Planted.
Does indeed. And you see that Sky getting some heals out and getting a kill on Contenchi. You can see Cypher going up to heaven, seeing what he can do from up there. He's gonna let that smoke go down. Sova on that left side trying to contest. Typhon right there is gonna go down. Paradox getting that. All that's left is Cypher. Paradox go down. And Cypher decides to jump on down to see if he can contest the site. Doesn't win it. And Guam are going to take their first point.
Now just dig in and climb up.
Just sitting on the margin, too, of what I would say is the acceptable losses that you can take in the third round. Only losing 2 players. Should make it that maybe they have to purchase 1 less ability or go for a small shield, but it should be enough for them to fully make this a rifle round going up against Zama. Canute trying to hold down the sideline on Elon. Already fires, just getting a little bit too freaked out. No one there or even near A.
Cover going out.
Meanwhile, it's an initial push onto B, which we don't see that too often. Usually B can be like an afterthought. If A or C don't work, then we just move on to B, but we might be seeing the reason for that right now as they are just running into a brick wall trying to plant B. Zama slams the door in their face and goes up 3-1.
You can see them trying to rush B, using all that they could, but that left doorway was just deadly. Zama able to capitalize. You can see Tin Typhon go down there. And then it was just trades back and forth from here on out.
Guam, rough position, having to settle for that Marshall there. It's going to demand a lot of accuracy, make sure he can hit his heads, because then it can be as effective as Op, but only if you hit the head, which is really tough to do. Well, they're going to move forward. I mean, Guam has always favored themselves a quick push, and the spray transfer for Paradox. I mean, there's no Paradox there. It's just the standard truth that he's really good at what he does. And that's accuracy, deadly efficiency, picking up his frags.
Couple of shock darts going out. Seeing if Sova can get something through the smoke. Spike is down onto C-site. They have to make a smart push here to try and reclaim. It's going to be up to Din Tai Fung, who is still holding the site. Omen being very smart about not using all of his smokes and just blocking this corridor, making sure that Din Tai Fung doesn't have any sort of view onto site and to see where everybody is.
1 enemy remaining.
Trades back and forth between both teams, bring it down to a 3-1. Sound Radio being the only one left and has a long way to go. Sees the gun barrel and gets some damage, but can't take him out. And that just gives away his position. It's now going to make this job nigh impossible, I would say.
10 seconds left.
Great defensive work out of Zama. Able to hold this site, not even letting the plant go off. And KJ just has to stay alive for the next few seconds, which they will. Going into the next round, Zama up 4-1. Flick onto Omen. So fast.
I gotta say, it was considering where Paradox was and how many people he was going up against once, it was a miracle that he lived, let alone managed to get 2 with quite the spray transfer. Kahoot in a bit of an odd position, only being able to afford the shorty, but it's all for good reason because they're going to be using the Blade Storm to make up for that.
They sure are. Looks like everybody's going to try and swarm. It's a combination of B and A. A couple of shark darts going out. Smokes onto both A and B. But Spike being on A. You got to watch out for this over around the corner. He puts out his bot. But that's going to deny him from being able to get a kill or at least a swap or a I'm blanking on the word. An exchange between the two players. There's a knife storm there. Looking for one more. Nothing's going to hit, but Giannitis is going to be able to kill Cerulean Knight, leaving it down to just the Jet on Guam. Defon getting one.
The way that Jet was just hopping up and down with the shorty of all guns too. It's just like, I don't know, it reminded me of just like the mentality of a toddler or something like that. Oh boy, I'm gonna get him. I go, oh. Yeah, look here, right here. I sure hope it captures it. Please do not cut out. Okay, there we go. There's the Blade Storm and no.
Oh. A lot of ults.
Well, we'll see now. Kahoot, though, using the Blade Storm last round definitely helped them purchase this off. Not getting baited by the first jump peak, but does miss their first shot, so that gives away the surprise factor. Oh, not quite. I spoke too soon. Sound Radio gets taken out in sewers. That was a very quick pivot of angles for Kahoot.
Everybody rotating to C. The only one there is Cypher. They're going to get one as a raise.
Nice.
Use the neural theft. Blind goes out. Oh, there's going to be one.
Spike down, C.
Paranoia tailwind to get away from the paranoia.
Player standing.
Overall, Zama's been having some clean one-on-one wins. Now just Sun Tzu left. Wingman and a double peak. One goes down, but the whole purpose of a double peak is to have that backup, which does help them get the kill. We'll take a look on over to the third place match. Humphrey seems to be running away with it.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. Dakota on attack, not able to do much. They're able to get one, though. 1-2, fade. Trying to hold out. Not going to get much. It's going to be a trade. And actually, Yokota looking to be in favor of winning this one out, and they're going to get it.
Well, figures. We see the one that they do win. Meanwhile, we're back on over to Haven. Paradox already trying for a wallbang. Oh, man, just firing right through sewer. But, I mean, that is good. He's already forcing some of the heal out from Guam, so just take a little bit of that utility away. Not a bad investment. You're going to see Cerulean Knight pick up one with the showstopper. Hunter's Fury as well, trying to flush him out from below Heaven. He's down. That Gecko. I mean, that Raze is just holding on for dear life, as is their KJ. Very low on health, but their Sky is coming in clutch with these shots. There they go. Just the spray managing to take the two low healths out. Now it's just 1-1. Time ticking against Zama, since they're the ones that need to defuse. Fakes out a teleport.
The wingman.
Oh, is there enough time? I think there is. Yep.
Oh, good play by Gecko.
If there was any agent who was suited for that, it's the one that can send out the decoy, the wingman. That or
Yoru?
Yoru, thank you. I just had the biggest brain fart there. Yeah, Yoru. I mean, the only one that can really send out some sort of decoy and, you know.
Yeah, but Wingman's the only one that can actually interact with the
spike. That's true. Yeah, Wingman goes for the spike. The decoy just walks forward and doesn't fake out too many people. But the Wingman, you got to deal with him.
I'd probably be faked out. I'm thinking, oh, people. And I'd get scared.
Cerulean Knight off to a great start. Takes out their Omen. That means that once this one smoke wears off, there's going to be no defensive smokes available. Clean out of paint shells. Dizzy in response. Seekers. Guam spending a good amount of resources to make their way on towards C. Gian, though, still stays cool. Din Tai Fun lands one onto Paradox.
Oh, and he gets a second.
Double. And now just one left from Zama. Papa Delic. With the
Odin.
Oh man, that's a
Gets
long
one.
range for the Odin, but he's finding a way to make it work.
Maybe getting 2. Oh.
No. Yeah, those last few shots way over the head, but that's just the spray you're going to get on an Odin
It is.
from that range.
Not going to be the most accurate there, but Guam able to get a second round, trying to close the gap.
That is still the amazing fact you got it that fast, though, on that first one.
Ooh, yeah, you can see all those sprays go right above the head of that jet.
But Zama has a big enough lead that should they even lose this one, I think they'll still be able to purchase backup, so they can run it back a few times.
Mm-hmm. Blade Storm and Attacker Killjoy at their
He
fingertips.
directly called out that angle
Get out of my way.
and was rewarded justly for it.
Just as I'm saying it, both are going to go out. Blade Storm and Killjoy. Dele getting a trade with Senzu. Attacker's going to get nobody.
Yeah, a lot for them to spend. I mean, they do get the spike planted, but
Deploying drone.
Slow and steady here on the site. Sky on point. Spike is planted as well. Xantix gets 1 on Paradox, and they're going to get 2. Gionidas, Sunzu.
Whoa.
Oh, it's going to be close fighting. Xantix gets Contenshi, and there we go. Guam. What looks to be like they're getting the groove of things now.
and we just see Humphreys win another round on Pearl, putting them up to game point. So things pretty straightforward as far as the third place match is concerned, but we might see that that it is quite different for the Grand Championship. Seems like a bit of a second wind has been found by Guam.
Indeed. They're trying to close that gap as best as they can, and even if it takes a few Odins to get that win.
Sound radio currently hanging right outside the garage, but that sideline's being watched down by Kenton. Not even trying to get some sort of jiggle peek or anything, just biding their time. Seems like they could be fancying themselves a push up B. A lot of Odin spray is put out on there as a result. Forces them back just a bit, but they still seem committed to the B push.
Paradox will find one with Dai Tai Fong.
Take flight.
Omen still has his ult available, and Ovo is going to spray through the wall. He's going to get Paradox. Xantix getting Gionidas. Ovo is going to plant 4v3 in favor of Guam. Peek around. They're going to get Canute. It's up to Odin and Cypher at this point through the smokes. Oh, Sun Tzu's going to get Conteshi. Now it's just down to the Cypher. Not a good position for Zama right now. They're going to drop 3 rounds in a row, potentially, unless Cypher can do something here.
The best he could do, I think, would be an exit frag. Can't get that either. Well, the wheels have just come completely off the wagon for Zama.
Last round.
The only
in the
little bit of
half.
solace that they're going to have in this losing streak they found themselves is that this is the last round of the first half. So things will reset. They'll get that little bit of breathing room, and they can focus on their strategy going forward. They got 3 ults to use this round as well. And we'll actually see a timeout.
First timeout of the match. And in the meantime, we're going to look over at this Humphreys-Yokota match. Yokota able to get a few more rounds under their belt, delaying Humphreys' match point win. Still looking to be 5v5. Split up on the map. Can't quite tell where the spike is at the moment. Looks to be on 8 site.
Oh man, they're
Ooh,
piling
Fish
on
getting-
up for Yokota.
Fish got a 3K.
One enemy remaining.
And what looks to be around
4 FPS, the only one still out.
Let's hope their monitor isn't running at 4 FPS.
I know, probably wishing they had invested a little bit right now in this clutch moment. That's just mean.
Oh!
They were going for the knife there.
They were. But before we get to see the end of that one, we have to see the end of the half here in this grand finals match.
Well, nothing like just firing a bunch of warning shots and emptying your entire magazine there.
Stay away!
That's the get off my lawn strategy. Doesn't really seem to work, however, as they're still there. Making their way on towards C. Throw the smoke out just for that little bit of extra insurance. Looks like it'll be a successful plant for Guam. Although they take some damage for it, the Hunter's Fury already. Zama's taken one out.
Canoe getting Daitafong, and it's really nice. Going to get the revenge on that one. Neuro Theft going out. Rays trying to get one. They are going to get it. Now it's Omen and Cypher against KJ. No ults to any of them.
Oh, they just
They are
stick
gonna
it.
get
Nicely done.
Very nicely done. Are they going to get this last kill before the round? Omen, no. Oh, they do.
Well, Yokota seems to also be on a little bit of a streak of their own. They've won their last 2 rounds, making it 12-4. Although this looks like the best opportunity for Humphreys. The Neural Theft just comes online, so they'll know where the 2 remaining Yokota players are. The 2 players standing between them and the win.
And both of them have an ult available. And there goes one of them. Fade. Using that ult. Oh, and there's the first kill. Sova, all that's left. Sending out a Prowler. And I think
that's all she wrote.
That might be all she wrote. Humphreys, 13-4, are going to win that one and claim 3rd place in this DoDEA tournament.
Oh, Din Tai Fun gets the first blood up the pistol round, but quick fight back by Zama. They've now opened up a 4-2 lead. One left in the Link, the other in Heaven. Cerulean Knight finds a free one off the paint shells.
Cerulean Knight trying to peek around that corner. Cypher wall goes up. It's going to be them versus Sova. Lots of smokes going out. It's going to be difficult, but Kinteshi looks up to Heaven and gets Daitafong. More grenades going out. They have to be careful. That one not going in their favor. Zama getting that pistol round.
Very big turn of events for them. Should they win the one they're favored, they'll go up to double digits, give very little room for Guam to work with. Man, that was such a close-up angle, too, that Omen found. That was really nice.
Bot coming back. Out of charges.
9-4. Zama hoping that they can get their groove back and, you know, try and put themselves into double-digit rounds, putting themselves close to this win. But right now they're going to try and go for C. You can see KJ trying to flank that one, but that one not the best opportunity when you have 5 players in your face.
Zama wants to try to win this one as cleanly as possible for their bonus. Canute as, oh, nice. That was a really nice paranoia by the Omen, helping bail out their duelist. Sunzu making their way through the smoke. Din Tai Fun will take Heaven. Trade back and forth. Not quite the pace Zama wants to set for themselves. They do recover, though, with Giannitis managing to get a pick.
Ooh, getting
Ooh,
one.
but Din Tai Fung still trades. Yeah, that's a lot to give up on your bonus, but we'll see.
We do what we do. Get back to chilling.
Well, we'll see now. Just two players left that can fight with at least somewhat respectable guns on Zama's bonus here.
Placing sentry.
But Guam will definitely have all rifles.
Placing swarm grenade. Find the weak
I'm
point.
sure Guam is also
Right.
going to be looking to try and regain that momentum that they had in that first half, where they went down about 4 or 5 rounds, but they were able to bring it back to what I believe was a 4-7 into the half. Right now, oh man, looking for a teleport on top of the boxes. A lot of utilities coming out, lots of blinds, lots of smokes, and Canute's going to get one. It's going to be a trade between them and Ovo. Giannitis getting Ovo, and Din Tai Fung getting Papadelic. Boombot goes
Spike
out,
planted.
destroyed immediately. Canute's going to get one more, and it's going to be 2v2. Gecko having an ult, potentially using it. Instead, he's going to keep peeking this doorway.
Oh yeah!
There goes
Oh,
the
the
Thrasher.
Thrasher. Oh!
Din Tai Fung, the last one. He's going to get that one. Oh.
And there'll be plenty of time to defuse, but again, the fact that that was their bonus and they took him down to just one agent means really great things for the next round. Just about everyone for Guam will have to settle for lesser than rifles, puts a huge advantage back over to Zama.
I'm sure that's what Zama wants to hear, them having the advantage, needing only 3 more rounds. They're going to be trying to win this next one, keep their streak going, but Guam able to get another round off, maybe kind of doing what I was just talking about and getting that groove back.
Sentex taking a peek out around. Doesn't quite get anyone from lobby. We go to a bird's eye view, trying. Oh, very quick shot taken by Giannitis, and Canute also collects with a headshot. Clean play by Zama thus far.
One
Especially with the
enemy
wall
remaining.
bang and a follow-up and a 3K to end off the round. Kentenchi making short work of that.
For Zama to build up such a big lead defending first, which is always a little bit more of a tricky proposition on a 3-site stage like Haven, really meant that it was all downhill from there in this second half, because they have been performing beautifully. Guam, this is a must-win round for them now. There is no negotiation here. They got to win this, or else they're down guns in an economy round on match point.
You can see immediately Blades of Fury coming out. But they might just have to save it. Omen, the only one staying, looking at C-site. Everybody else closing in on it. Omen's got to be careful of that Blades of Fury.
Din Tai Fung's still waiting for any sort of audio cue to peek out with the Blade Storm. Canute finds it onto sound radio, and oh my goodness, the nice side angle from Giannitis works out beautifully as well. He picks up the double showstopper. Oh my goodness! Oh. Wow! Almost turning it around with the showstopper. Wouldn't that have been something?
That would have been huge. Getting what had to have been an ace if they were going to get that round, but still getting 3 with the showstopper. That is huge. It eliminates Zama from getting a flawless, and it gets a few guns off the table for them going into this potentially last round.
Yeah, and this is the scenario that I was describing as the nightmare scenario. Down guns in a match that, should they lose, which they're expected to, just because of their weak guns, Means that they'll have to move on from now looking at a reverse sweep, because this is, you know, I think, oh man,
My ult's ready.
Giannitis and Canute are traded back with 2 sheriff shots from Zan. Din Tai Fun also
Ooh, on the reload.
One enemy remaining.
making a match of it. Oh my, they actually won that one. Okay.
Din Tai Fun really clearing out that site quick. I believe they got a 3K right there at the end, just eliminating the rest of the Zama players. Now cutting those rounds down to half.
Timeout for Guam, but I would say that this is a pretty good timeout for Zama as well. After this loss, it kind of makes sure that the mentals don't fly too far off the rails for Zama, since they're so close. Sometimes teams can just start losing and losing and losing when they're right at match point and they feel so close in their chances, and yet they can't get that final win. So I actually think that this is slightly a better timeout for Zama right now, given the circumstances.
I think so too. I think it'll be a good mental reset for those players to really think about how they're going to approach this next round and really try to aim to win it. Try to get themselves this first map win in the grand finals.
Yep, put themselves up to match point, and then it would have to be, you know, I gotta say, Zama has been performing well enough. I mean, I knew it probably wouldn't be a complete blowout, like a 13-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't expecting a scoreline this lopsided either. It's been a very clear win from Zama, who's come right out of the gate and shown that they're the ones who want to win it. Would be the ultimate spoiler for Guam, though, making it to both grand finals, to lose both.
That would be unfortunate, but for Guam, even if they lose this next round, they still have 2 more games that they could play. 1 for sure, and a potential 3rd.
One issue is that there's a whole bunch of ults built up for Zama. And this is a long way to push out. They'll get 1, but it's traded back. So now they got to have that Raze move in to refill that gap in their defensive wall. Means there's only going to be 1 defending A. Din Tai Fun. They're going to have to use some sort of util to find him on top of those crates. I like the owl drone. Gets hit with the dizzy as well. Okay, they managed to pick up the target, but the paint shells traded on back.
Thrash is going to go out.
Spike planted.
Nice early plant. Thrash can't pick up anybody. Doesn't look like it. Chance to pick that back up, however, and reuse it.
Looks like you might have picked up a wingman instead. Paradox is going to get 2.
And that'll do it.
That sure will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, 13-6, it's no blowout, but it's still a very solid win. So
Absolutely.
I was not expecting Guam to fall that far behind, seeing as how I also predicted Guam to win the whole thing. But
You did.
Zama, I mean, props to them for playing at peak performance and doing the job they needed to.
But, I mean, like we've been saying all night, this is going to be the difference. All throughout these last 3 days, it's all been best of 1s, but now we're at a best of 3. You can't just play 1 and expect to win it all. You got a lot more game in front of you.
Yep, but it could be the final game of the DoDEA Esports Pacific Spring Tournament right here, right now, or the Winter Tournament, excuse me, with Zama looking to take the championship away from Guam. Meaning that, oh man, I still can't, I know I just mentioned it like a few minutes before, but I couldn't get, I wouldn't, man, would that stink for Guam, you know, for to be such a top tier team and be in the running for so long and to make it to both grand championships only to lose.
Yeah, but before we get into this next one, though, we're going to give the players a little bit of a breather, let them recoup, and before we get into the second map, we are going to take a quick break. So we will catch you guys on the other side of this with Game 2 of this Valorant Grand Final.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Welcome back to the DoDEA Esports Pacific studio. We are currently in the midst of our Grand Championship match in Valorant, where Zama High School is going up against Guam High School. And Zama has just taken the first game of this best of three, meaning they could close it out here with a 2-0 sweep. To join me for this final game, we've brought Bryce Jensen back into the mix. Now, if I remember correctly, you were saying last time these two teams faced, it was 13-10, but for the scoreline to change that much and make it 13-6, clearly Zama has not lost any of their step.
Yeah, Zama is definitely one of the big dogs in this tournament. They've shown it very frequently throughout all of their games. And really, the only struggle that they had was against Guam that we ended up seeing. And I think they went into this knowing a few of the weaknesses that Guam showed. Guam has a tendency to overextend with multiple players, like we saw a few times pushing that C point on Haven, especially with that really good spray kill that ended up taking two and almost a member of Zama's team as well. And while it could have worked, the tendency to overextend has sort of been a detriment to Guam in a lot of their matches. And I feel like going in knowing that and knowing how to exploit it is what allows them to sort of take a few more maps off than what they would have expected.
Especially when they're on defense too, and that's just, it just really isn't called for. And you kind of have to wonder, you know, there could be reasons for that. It could be a lack of a team breakdown, team cohesion or communication. Could also be sometimes, I mean, for Guam to be seated first in the tournament, sometimes maybe that gives you an ego and you think, no, I can take them all on as one.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw that a few times in the final rounds during Zama's attack, where everybody was covering angles, everybody was covering each other's back, and then Guam would come in one by one. No one would really take fights that were fair, and it just allowed for Zama to really run away with the victory towards the end there. But with a little bit of a break here, I think that Guam knows a little bit more about what they should do, play it a little bit slower, a little bit safer, and we might just see Guam pull out another victory tonight.
Well, it would have to be a reverse sweep and a pretty late night for us if that were the case. Zama just has to make sure they don't get too ahead of themselves. They just keep doing what worked. And I think like what you were saying about, you know, just making sure they work as a team, check their angles. I mean, it's just the fundamentals. They got to make sure that they don't let this momentum get to their heads. It's going to be about which team I think can and it sounds weird, but whichever team forgets that this is a grand championship match, I think is kind of really going to have, and just plays a good game, period, is going to win.
You know, I would also be the reverse of that. Whichever team forgets or realizes a little bit too hard that this is a championship match. Stress is a taker in a lot of mental matchups, and with Valorant being so long, that mental matchup is just as important as the agents.
Well, off we go to what could possibly be the final map of the tournament. We're going over to Sunset, which is quite an interesting turn of events.
And that is
you know what?
Tahoe, I see.
It still borders the Pacific Ocean. So you know what? It's still Pacific.
Still technically Pacific. And,
No, we're not
Din
gonna
Tai
see
Fung
a
getting my
Tahoe
hopes
there.
up. Tahoe, we did see him once a few days, I think it was on the first day of the tournament. We saw Tahoe twice or three times, and he has a really unique play style, and I'd like to see more of him. I don't know if we're going to see it. We're probably not going to see it going through the rest of DoDEA, but I'm excited to see how he evolves coming forward.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was Din Tai Fung hovering him, and he's been the main duelist player. So for him to switch on over to Initiator, you know.
Oh, no, he's going to give Zentex a time in the spotlight here. He's going to pass the torch off to him, if you will. But with a start on defense, Guam is going to have the roles a little bit reversed from the last time, and it seems like the Rays pick is coming out on the side of Zama.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm so thrilled with starting out with Arena on defense.
You know, I would say the same thing, but I've seen enough players killed by paint shells in the past to know that if you get somebody in the right spot, just caught a little bit off guard, it can really mess up their day.
I said the Reyna, not the Rays.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah,
knew what
now
I
you know
meant.
what? Now do you even agree with me more?
You know, I do agree with you a little bit more, though. The Reyna on defense isn't something.
No, I don't razz the Rays at all. It's actually no. It's just, yeah. I mean, all she can provide for her team is that eye, and it can be great for flashing around corners, I suppose, clearing space. But they're on defense first.
Yeah, we're
That's a gutsy pick.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you can get behind him, we've seen quite a bit of Neon during this tournament, and Neon has had varying levels of success just as a roamer, getting around, and while they don't have the flashes that Reyna does, they still provide a lot of value, just getting behind the enemy team and making sure that they can't really do a ton without checking behind them first. But going in here, we see Sun Tzu doing the classic Cypher, putting up the tripwires. Paradox kind of pushing forward with the Owl drone. Doesn't seem to find anyone, but little does he know there's people lurking right behind him. Dizzy goes out trying to pass behind the smoke, and nothing comes out of it.
Best thing Guam has going for them is going to be the Vise that they have. Might be able to catch someone with the sheer wall. Get them separated from the rest of the team, but that's a really good start. First blood going over to Zama. Giannitis lands a headshot. Traded back, though, and now Guam is leading, but the problem is they're very low on health. So one shot to that jet will take him out. Din Tai Fung only at 18 health.
Yeah, both Omens get traded out. Din Tai Fung, last one, or not the last one. Zama has one player remaining, just being the Omen. Oh, one good headshot.
Oh!
Headshots, clutches it for Zama. First point, pistol round, and a quad goes to
You know
Zama's
what? If he
Omen.
had just kept sticking, I think he might have had a chance.
Yeah, just a little bit more, and he might have had it, but a little bit of hesitation goes a long ways in a game like Valorant, where the rounds aren't super long, but it's pretty easy to waste time. But that, if you're going to win a round, it's got to be the pistol round, and I feel like
It is true. The rounds aren't long, but there's a minimum of 13.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the fine print.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't read that when reading the terms and conditions when playing this game, but
That's the one thing that reminds you of how long Valorant games can go, when you just actually stop and look at the round number and you're like, round 27?
what? How? Isn't it best of 20? Isn't it best of 27? Oh, out goes the boom bot. Doesn't manage to get anything, but they know where the Omen is. Oboe Sound going down, but Vise with the brambles manages to catch a few. Sun Tzu and Cerulean both finding one each. Guam definitely has the player advantage, especially now that Papadelic is down. Zentex, you were bashing the Reyna a little earlier, but proving the worth of a flank really well here. Guam is going to take round 2.
All right, it definitely seems like that they've stopped the leaking in a lot of key areas of their strategy. So this is going to be a round that's a lot closer than we might have initially thought, with Zama winning that first.
Yeah, just really good placement with the Sheriff, really strong ability, plus those brambles from the Vise, kicking everybody down to really low health. I mean, in this game, everything's a one-shot headshot if you're close enough, but still, the value in taking people's health down, it burns armor, and it just makes it so you don't have to be super accurate, and you can sort of give up a little bit on that one. But moving into round 3, Zama's going to have to compromise for a little bit worse guns here. And Guam is starting to mount a little bit of a guns advantage, mounted off the few guns they were able to salvage from the last round. Nothing really happening quite yet, but it's best to play this one slow. The classic is... well, it's a classic, but at the same time, it's not super powerful, especially in the face of a Vandal. Zentex proving that perfectly with 2. Does he find 3? He burns both his heals and his movement abilities, but at the same time, Din Tai Fung on the Jet is right there to replace him on that angle. Now Zama down 2 players, way worse guns overall. How are they going to approach this one?
The classic is a classic. Wise words of a wise man.
Yes. I am very wise, if you couldn't tell by my flowing beard. And by that I mean less than a centimeter chin stubble. But
I appreciate the honesty, but Zanetex has a good angle here. Langes, great crosshair placement, lands a headshot. They do get one trade back, which on classics, you know, just maybe one frag here or there would be good enough.
Oh, but Din Tai Fung is going to find another. It is just Papadelic by himself. On the upside, Guam's not going to get a flawless for this one, but at the same time, this was an uphill battle from the start, going up against a Vandal with 3 classics. The Vandal's going to win 9 times out of 10.
I would say probably 99 times out of 10.
Well, I mean, we did see the Vandal get taken out by the classic, though.
Yeah.
It just took 4 players.
Well, I thought you were referring to a one-on-one. Like 99 out of 100 sounds more like it to me.
That is probably a little bit better. Unless you get the jump on somebody, then you probably win it with the classic. But that's not going to happen very often on defense, unfortunately.
Well, it played out a little bit weirder than we thought it would be, but we do get to the 4th round rifle round, with the one exception being that Sun Tzu is bringing out a Spectre for Guam.
Yeah, interesting. You make your Cypher take the worst gun, but I suppose he's not going to be the one taking the gunfights most of the time. Owl Drone does come out. It catches Vise on the corner. It's also going to catch Rentex, too. That's 2 more down. Reyna, or Raze, is jumping out, finds another one. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. That's just a remainder from the last fight there. But Guam now has to push A site without very much, but Din Tai Fung through the smoke. Ovo finding another, but Paradox finding one on Sun Tzu. It is rounded up, but Ovo is going insane. It is Omen v Omen, and Kenteshi is going to win it out.
I'm not sure about that. Something about that didn't seem entirely kosher to me.
Yeah, whether that be luck, skill, power of will, or maybe
I don't know. I mean, just look here. Look at this flick. It's so well. Yeah. How?
We're going to chalk it up to really, really good luck.
Yeah, it would have to be. I'm trying to figure out all the ways. Maybe a teammate pinged, or maybe that was it. Maybe I just. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's spooky.
Yeah, all the ranges, and you just have to put your head where the bullet goes. From the looks of things, Guam was able to scrape together enough to buy an operator for Yen, and it finds one. It doesn't get the collateral like Din Tai Fung probably would have wanted, and what honestly looked like was going to happen.
Yeah.
But 1 is more than enough. Although he is exposed from the Owl Drone, and the rest of his team is still trying to find a way around. And from the looks of things, Zama is making the rotate back to A after being down 1 player, and Papadelic isn't able to find it on Sun Tzu. Just, the Sheriff is good, but it's not Vandal good. Giannitas covering the flank just a little bit. Going into a 3v5 is not a very fun spot to be in, but they do have the spike, so it could always be worse. The smoke goes, the teleport and smoke go out from Omen onto A site, probably with Vise coming out to pop out and surprise Omen. There goes the spike too, and now Zama is at a pretty good disadvantage here.
Shadows traveling.
Slowly making their way through the elbow, trying to get back up to where that spike was dropped. Cerulean Knight has that sideline locked down pretty darn well. He's going to reposition so it can even be a double angle. Tough. He's got to have great reflexes. Calls it out well. Nice job. But again, the cross angles will come in, provide backup for Guam, and put them back up to a one-round lead.
Yeah, prevented the flawless, but at what cost? That Omen play could have probably worked too if Vyaz wasn't just there at the perfect time to catch Omen out. The paranoia didn't quite do as much as he would have wanted, and it just led to Guam being able to take this one round. That is not exactly what Zama was wanting, but they are winning in the ult count currently. Or they're favorable in the ult count. They're not winning in ult count. You don't win off that.
I wish you could. But
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. But then it would. Then you never see the ultimates, and you never see something like
that is
Thrash
true,
off the get-go. Thrash, the third best guy in Gecko's lineup. No one can beat the wingman. And Dizzy's just a silly little guy, a goofy goober, if you will.
Zama still going for this route toward B. Does have these Cypher Cage to work with, tries to send the Owl Drone through it. Sun Tzu hit with the paranoia. That'll wear off.
Tripwire destroyed.
A few shots do go through on Canute, but nothing ready to kill. Paradox, though, finding one on Sun Tzu. And Obosound Radio quick to fall. Cerulean Knight finding two to trade out his comrades, but Kentechi has found a way to get Din Tai Fung. It is currently 2-2, but not for much longer. Guam looking to defuse. Cerulean Knight with a 4K.
Quite disgusting, I have to say. Especially when they managed to also get the neural theft out. Zama should have known where everyone from Guam was, and yet they still cornered him.
Yeah, but you know what's even nastier than that? The fact Guam has 4 ultimates that they can use going into this next round.
That's a good move by Zama there. You need a timeout at this point. Something just clearly isn't connecting.
Yeah, especially going into such a deficit. You have the Vy's ultimate, which can pretty much negate any sort of push. Ray's ultimate, or no, not Ray's ultimate, the Omen ultimate, which can deny sights. They also have a Cypher ultimate that they can use as well. And if they have any better luck with it, that's a team wipe in and of itself.
Especially since the first round, it was a very dominant scoreline of 13-6, but we're almost seeing the beginnings of a reverse 13-6 in this case from Guam instead. So maybe this was one of the maps they chose that they were like so focused on, because we haven't seen a whole lot of Sunset, but it might have been their secret weapon.
Sunset is one of those maps that requires a ton of angle usage, and I feel like Guam was confident in their ability to hold them. Think about B site and mid. Both of those have incredibly long sight lines that you have to pass through if you want to use them. A is kind of an outlier, but it's got enough nooks and crannies for you to hide in that it makes it a little bit easier to do the defense on. And since Guam probably knew they were going into the defense first this time around, they wanted to pick something that was a little bit easier to defend, get an early lead, somewhat like Zama did in the last round, and then make it really hard to get back up, especially with an operator from Din Tai Fung.
Oh, Kentechi in a little bit of a dangerous game with chicken here. In mid, he gives his position away to Din.
But this is what he needs. The rest of his team is rotating around to A, and they have no idea. Oh, Papadelic took the rifle stock to the face.
Yeah, don't ego peek the op. Just don't do it.
And don't ego peek it, and also don't get right next to it where a hip fire would probably get you. But out goes the wingman with the plant. Wingman plant, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to matter all too much. Giannitas does stick the plant, but with only Sova left, not for very much longer, defenders are going to win this one. We need to get the wingman cam up and running. That would be
Yeah,
kinda
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Love to see wingman come out. And I'm glad that he actually got to have a little bit of time in the sun before his owner was tragically shot in the alley of Sunset.
Well, here we go. It's going to be another save round for Zama, which means Guam can run up the score even more.
Yeah, Zama just hasn't been able to find their footing when it comes to guns. And even when they do get their good ones, the defense from Guam has just been a little bit too
Din's
great.
been the biggest problem.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's really hard to argue with a one-shot to any part of the body except for the legs. And when you try to ego peek it like we saw Papadelic do, that's just not a very good spot to be in for anybody. But, I mean, unless you're Din Tai Fung, then it's pretty much a guaranteed kill.
Feeling sight.
Oh, and it looks like he's going to try and do it again, but he doesn't. He manages to live. It's Cerulean Knight who ends up getting the kill on Giannitas. And Din Tai Fung still watching around there. Omen is there to join, but can they push past the choke? Canute also looking to take that off angle with the spike, but hasn't found anything quite yet. Ooh, Ovo Sound Radio taking one out on Canute, but quick to fall as well. Paradox, though, caught from behind by Cerulean. This round has not quite gone the favor of Zama so far, and they need to find a way to turn it around. Guam has barely exhausted any of their ultimates here. Papadelic trading his life for Cerulean's, but it's not going to be enough with only one person left on the board. Now here comes the question. Do you try to make a break for a better gun? Do you try to save up a little more? Or do you try to take a few out with you? And unfortunately for Kentechi, he's not going to take out as many as he wants, but he does take out one.
Yeah, considering that was a save round, picking off 3 from Guam isn't the worst way that could have unfolded, so.
Could have always been worse. They could have...
I mean, it still is possible that we end the first half tied. That is still mathematically possible, and it just takes this one win here. It's just they've got to neutralize this op from Din.
Yeah, they got to take it for themselves. They got to use it. Give it to Papadelic. Give him a revenge tour. Let it be his turn to punch the Jet in the face with the operator. But now that everybody's at Vandal, there's only 3 rounds left in the half before we swap. Here pretty quick, we're going to see all of these ults come out, and the only one not to have it is Zama Cypher. But we're probably going to see it here pretty quick. Boombot does go out, nothing's found, but Din Tai Fung and Zentex sure are going to find their mark. Giannitas not able to find anything before Ovo Sound Radio finds 2. Canute's able to even it, not quite even it out, but gets 1, preventing the flawless, but also losing the potential to bring things up to even. In a 4v1, it's pretty safe to say that Canute is going to end up losing this one. But he does take out Zentex. And I think Zentex actually used their ult during that. So, yes, they did. That is one less ult to worry about.
They have evened up the ult economy, so that is one little bit of good news. But now Guam is guaranteed to end this first half in the lead. It's going to be yet another save round for Zama.
Yeah, this operator is a problem, always finding the first shot. And it feels like Zama is slipping into the same issue that Guam had last round. They're taking things a little bit too fast. They're playing things a little too fast and loose. Like we saw it with Omen a few times. He'd smoke an area and then teleport straight to it. Didn't know if people were there or not. And whether it was out of desperation or not, it's just a very risky play. You're never going to be completely safe when you do it. And just like Din Tai Fung knows, Papadelic should know by now not to peek those long angles. But there goes Cypher ult off the table. Location is revealed. Canute with the showstopper doesn't find anything, but Jet manages to get the close range snipe on Canute. Kentechi falls as well, same with Giannitas, and now it's just up to Guam to defuse.
Making it an 8-12. 8-2, what am I talking about? Man, it is getting late. An 8-2, my goodness, but you sure wouldn't know it with the way.
This dodge on the showstopper, though, was pretty impressive. Just frame perfect Dark Souls dodge rolled it and manages to get him with the operator of all things, too, from close range. But Zama needs to get at least 2 more points on the board. That'll put them in a good mental state here. And worse comes to worse, if they don't take these next 2 rounds, they still got 3 more rounds before Guam wins it all. It could always be a lot worse for your position. And we've seen teams come back from a lot worse. We had a pretty even game earlier tonight, and they've proven that it is 100% possible to do so. And with guns still being pretty good on both sides, a full buy, it's not going to matter. If Cerulean Knight is able to get those early picks out, Din Tai Fung with the operator too hasn't died since purchase, and they are just struggling to make any sort of space here.
Doesn't that just drive you crazy? Like a fact like that is like what really gets under your skin. They haven't died once.
Yeah.
Like, it's not this that they're doing well, it's just like they haven't died at all.
Yeah. And made worse is that they're getting the opening pick in almost every single fight. And if not the opening, they're getting at least 1. So it's not like they're hiding in the background, not doing anything, kind of being a cosmetic teammate, if you will. But they're putting themselves on the front lines, and you just haven't been able to do anything about it. I mean, there is a saying from Far Cry. I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So maybe peeking the operator on the longest hallway in this map is probably not the best idea.
It isn't, you know, I know we've been given a lot of attention to Din with the op, but really Cerulean Knight has been also a very key player in picking up eliminations, at least 1 every single round. It's not really had to use, I mean, they've been sitting on their ultimate for who knows how long, but they don't even need to use it, because even when Zama is even keel with them in terms of guns, they just keep on taking these careless peeks out.
Yeah, and then I also feel like we got to recognize Ovo as well. Just getting 2 or 3 picks, too, to close things off pretty frequently. But here are 3 players right in front of Canute. He has no idea. He's able to take out 1, though, but Cerulean Knight finds him off guard, and out goes the ultimate from Cerulean, and now there are no more primaries to be had. Zentex capitalizing on the fact that Giannitas can't shoot back, and the primary jam does go away. Canute looking for 1 more, throws down the smoke. Zentex looking for another pick, and he finds it. Kenteshi unable to find it until now, but it's still even. Guam and Zama both with 2 players. Zama's a little bit healthier, but Guam still has a pretty good advantage. They gotta push on to point, and they only have 20 seconds left to do it.
But that neural theft is going to make their job that much harder.
Spike is going down, though, so they are going to get a little bit of extra time. Omen smoke also goes out. Neither Cypher has cages, too, so that's going to make things a little bit harder to push up on. Kenteshi just waiting for somebody to peek out, and Cypher does first. Same with the Jet. Attackers win to end off the first round, or the round before the swap.
Well, that's a really good turn of events. Manages to get them a little bit of a reset in terms of mentality, and makes the scoreline the infamous 9-3, which more superstitious types would say is the one, if you're trailing, the one you want to land on.
Yeah, you want to land on 9-3. I've also heard 9-5 was a pretty good one to land on as well.
How could you land
Or
on
9-5 as in, like, you get to round 9-5 and then you start the reverse sweep. Not...
Oh,
yeah.
You get to 9-3, you win the first pistol round, that takes you to 9-5.
Yeah. Or, wait, no, you win the first 2 rounds, and then you're in a good
you win the
position
first
to sweep
pistol
it.
round, which allows you to win the second round.
Yeah. That's what I've heard anyway. Valorant is full of a lot of superstitious types, and you know, I played a little bit of golf in high school, so I learned from the best about being superstitious. I was never any
What
good
does that
at
even
golf
have
in
to
high
do
school,
with Valorant,
but Paradox
Bryce?
is going to get 1 on Sun Tzu. Din Tai Fung quick to return it. You know, we're going to do this, and then we're going to finish up this one, and I'm going to tell you how golf relates to Valorant, because I tell you it does. And you're going to say, Bryce, you're super smart here. That or I'm making a complete fool of myself. But you know what? I've been doing that all week, so why stop now? Zentex trying to find another, and attackers manage to win this. Second pistol round goes to Guam. Advantage is taken from Zama.
You see, I used to play a lot of golf. Just out of the blue. I'm not even...
Nah, but if you've... Okay, bringing it back to reality, though. If you've ever talked to a golfer, they will tell you that there is a specific ball, a specific club, a specific course, sometimes even a specific spot on the tee box where they think is perfect. The most superstitious people you will ever meet. Even more than baseball players, even more than wrestlers. And I feel like the same thing applies to Valorant. The same strategy, if it works, it works. Same with round counts too. We're going to see Canute find one, throwing the grenade, not finding anything else because of Cerulean Knight. And the paint shells, unfortunately, don't find anything else.
Well, Guam's going to lose one, and that's enough for them to rethink the initial push, move back on over to mid. They don't really have any lurker either, so Giannitis is just...
He's just there.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. He is content to be with his homies. Papadelic is left once again defending a point by himself, and now the rest of the team is rotating to B. Can they make it in time to help him out, though? Paradox not firing anything quite yet. The recon dart does go out, nothing quite found of it. The Owl Drone also finds Cypher, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so, but the shotgun around the corner is not where you want to find yourself. Cerulean Knight finding that one out the hard way. Paradox starts the defuse, but Papadelic gets caught in the crossfire. Giannitis as well. Same with Paradox. And now it is down to one player against three. What looked like a resounding advantage turned to an unfortunate loss. Yeah, taking the head off Cerulean Knight by Giannitis. He just got a little bit too careless. Din Tai Fung also finding one on Papadelic is also not a good spot to be. And then this is just somewhere that you cannot get anywhere out of.
Yeah, this bit of a weird round for both these teams here. Neither one having to get full rifles, so we just kind of have a smattering of all kind of the tier 2 weapons. A lot of Bulldogs, Spectres.
A Sheriff or two for good measure. But, you know, the Sheriff, it's basically a primary. It does so much damage, it might as well be classified as one. Giannitis lurking in the corner, but nobody's there. Zentex is going to find one on Paradox, but Canute and Papadelic quick to trade out kills, but Kentechi is pretty soon to follow. Ovo Sound Radio getting some revenge for Cerulean Knight, and we are still 2-2. Guam is planting the bomb currently, giving them a little bit more time. Omen taking a lot of damage in that firefight, and Canute is going to end up taking him out. It is just Din with the Spectre in not a very enviable situation for anyone on the team.
But the way he peeks, that was risky there. That was risky because they made that a one-on-one.
I'm honestly surprised the Rays didn't use the paint shells there. That seems like the perfect opportunity to flush him out. You take the angle on the other side of the boxes. You have someone take it from the side you're looking at, and you flush him out.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Well,
but you know, I'm just commentating. I could never do this.
You're just a humble golfer.
Yep, just the humble golfer. I suck at golf, though. There's a reason I only did it for 1 year. I'm not very good. You know, it seems like a simple game, but it's
no,
not.
it's not. It's not. I golf too.
You put ball in hole, and it is way harder than it looks.
Yeah.
But here we go. Guam looking to expand their lead and potentially go to match point. Zama quick to shut off the rotation to B side, but Zentex is looking to shut it off from the looks of things, or looking to break it open.
Out of target.
They do. The Leer goes out. Paradox finds one on Cerulean Knight. Sun Tzu finding it on Paradox, though. Papadelic getting his get back, getting two. Sun Tzu and Zentex through the wall. Jet tries to use the dash, but nothing quite comes out of it. It is just Ovo Sound Radio left to attack, and he gets taken out as well. Papadelic with 4.
Well, I was losing my mind so much in the past few rounds. It's kind of Zama was really snuck up in the fact that they're starting to get something behind them. 2 wins now. That's going to force Guam to basically, as we can see here, get nothing but sheriffs. 1 classic and 4 sheriffs.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but Sunset does seem to be a really defender-focused map of sorts, because you have all of the ways that you can rotate that are being able to blocked off, specifically that 1-B we saw Zentex use. You have a lot of cover that's penetratable if you have something that's able to recon and just let you know of people there, like Dizzy, for example, that unfortunately did go down. You can just shoot through it. And it seems like a good spot for a lot of smokes to go out, like we see Cerulean Knight and Din Tai Fung using. But Canute still finds one on Zentex. Kenteshi and Giannitas both finding one. Canute finds another, and a flawless for Zama.
Well, well, well. Zama has found their groove at the very last possible moment, but it is a groove nonetheless. So they'll move 0-6, have 3 wins in their pocket now. But they've got a thin, tight rope to walk. They really can't lose any single round. I mean, I think based on their credits, yeah, they probably could lose 1 and be able to purchase with rifles again, but they still got a long way to go to get it back to 11-11. Still 5 rounds left that they got to win.
Yeah, and even if they do lose the next round, that puts them at match point in a full rifle round. So that's definitely not a great spot to be in for Zama as a whole. But they do seem to be finding their groove, and if you're going to find your groove, it's best to do it before the game is over at the very end. Zama does have a few ultimates to work with. Kenteshi trying to find a shot through. The brambles do come out from Cerulean Knight, preventing anybody from moving out and taking other angles. Paradox keeping that on lock, but Ovo is found by Canute. And it looks like Giannitas is able to take out Ovo. Zentex finding it on Giannitas and using Empress. That's going to be a little bit scary for anybody else, but Kenteshi finding one on Din Tai Fung is going to help out just a little bit. Zentex does get the wallbang on Canute, but location is revealed. Cypher is back on the point, and same with Cerulean Knight finding one, and no one sees him. Paradox gets taken out from behind.
Devastating.
And there goes Kenteshi. It's 12-6, and potentially the final round of round 2.
And I think very consequential that it was Cerulean Knight who went into defender territory to get it. No one expected the flank here, and when he was finally in kind of, I would say, familiar territory, you know, the side of the map that he is much more comfortable fighting on, it was just a clean sweep there.
Yeah, especially from a Sentinel, too. You kind of have to be able to maneuver really, really well in order to find picks here. And you don't normally see the Vise go out on an off angle, but it looks like I just saw 2 Odins from the side of Zama. The tried and true strategy. It works sometimes, but it'll be interesting to see how it works out here with such narrow hallways and maybe being able to make use of the high spread of the Odin for a few lucky shots. But Canute is not using luck at all, finding a quick headshot on Zentex.
It's a good way to start out at least. Get the first blood, go up 1. Having to
Get out of my way.
Placing wall trap.
having to plant. They'll get that down successfully. The shear comes up. Also have a blade storm being used by the jet.
Yeah, if now's the time to use your ultimates, if there's a time to use your ultimates, now is the time. Thrash does come out, sees the Omen, and gets the stun too. Detained with 6 health, but he doesn't. But getting the Omen is going to be a little difficult with the rest of the team right there. Paradox does find 2. It is just Sun Tzu left. Shock Dart does go out, but with the spike getting really close to blowing up, Sun Tzu just has to
not
keep
taking the
him
bait, no, because
sketchy.
he can see him. He can see him with the camera.
Wait. Oh no! He tried to stick it, but the cage went down just before. Zama ends up losing, and Guam opens this up to a reverse sweep.
Yeah, this is going to be quite a long. Oh boy, yeah, I think I need a breather, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was like I think that was actually a reverse of the first round.
It was a complete reverse, and I did tease it a little on. You know, we might see a reverse of the 3-6. I didn't know how much I was flirting with disaster there.
Yeah,
but we're going to take a bit of a break and be back with round 3. So don't go away. We're going to crown a champion very soon here. Don't go away.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hello and welcome back to the DoDEA studio, where we are just about to get into the 3rd game of the Valorant Championship. This has been a roller coaster of games so far. Zama getting game 1 and now Guam getting game 2, putting us into game 3.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw a few of the same mistakes being made by both of the teams that sort of led them to this scenario. In the first round, it was Guam doing a little bit more pushing they probably shouldn't have, taking more risky gunfights. And then we saw the exact same thing out of Zama. It's almost like they're getting a little bit too comfortable. And like Jacob was saying a little bit earlier, they forgot that this was a championship match and not your just average quick play game.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I don't think a lot of these players are accustomed to this kind of environment with, so much stakes on the line, being able to have a trophy to be able to hold up at the end of the night. But I mean, going into this 3rd match, what are you kind of expecting?
I'm expecting a little bit of a shakeup in strategy. Both teams have made the same mistakes now. They should be able to take this little break they were given and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Here's how you can fix it. and we should see a little bit closer of a ball game around this time. I'm also thinking that for the final map, it's going to be a little bit more even. The last map we were on, Sunrise, was incredibly defender-focused, and we saw that in the gameplay. A lot of the rounds that went to Guam happened to be on the defensive side. That op on a jet is incredibly deadly no matter what map it's on, but on a map where you can capitalize on those long sight lines, it's pretty good. Also, Omen being able to sneak out of anywhere and pretty much get 2-3 kills is always something that you got to look forward to.
Yeah, his ability to teleport is really, it can be really deadly at times, being able to use that correctly and just get some angles that aren't really available to most people, and just really catching the enemy off guard. Yeah,
and I feel like that catching the enemy off guard is really what has allowed these two teams to kind of pull ahead when they did. When Zama pulled ahead in that first round, they were catching them off guard left and right, playing all the angles, doing what they needed to. Guam was doing something a little bit different, but with the same premise, catching them off guard with the operator right in your face. We saw it with Cypher, unfortunately, taking a gun barrel to the mouth a lot of the time. And I feel like that element of surprise is really what's sort of setting these two teams apart at the moment. But there's still a lot of room left to go, a lot of game left to be played, as we got a minimum of 13 rounds before the end, and a winner is crowned.
Yes, and our last winner at that. But I do want to say that one thing that impressed me was that the resilience of Guam, being able to, look back at their round one, see what they did wrong, and improve upon that even in the little time that they had in between games. They were really able to change the pace of round two, making it an even series going into game three. Now, like you said, only 13 rounds guaranteed towards one team, but I'm sure we're going to get more than that.
I'm sure that also the pick of Sunrise also helped a little bit too. Playing into a map that you're comfortable with versus one that you're kind of neutral on is definitely a really big difference. You know where you're supposed to be, you know all the nooks and crannies, you know where people are going to hide. And it also makes it a little bit easier to play that more defensive play style and just do a lot better on the defense. And it can even be a hindrance to the attacking side, who just can't really find a foothold in that sort of arrangement.
And I'm curious to see what kind of map is going to come out here in Game 3 and who's going to be able to take advantage of, the kind of nicks and knacks of whatever map it is and kind of see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, but the map pick is going to go to Zama this time. So if the same thing holds true and that the people who pick the map are going to be a little bit better at it, I feel like that is where we're going to see a Zama performance like we saw in the last round. And, I could be completely wrong, too. Maybe maybe they pick the one map that Guam is absolutely stellar at. And, I mean, that is a possibility. It's in the realm. And, I mean, it's probably happened once or twice before. But we're just going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, that's all we really can do at this moment. We can wait. I mean, as casters, all we can do is just talk. But I mean, we have to watch the gameplay to see how these teams are going to play it out and how they're going to match up against each other in this game 3, where the endurance is going to matter the most. Now going through 2 pretty full games of Valorant, you're going to go into a third one. I'm sure all of these players are pretty exhausted.
Yeah, I can only do like 1 round of Valorant at a time before I'm exhausted. It's just it's like 20 to 30, sometimes 40 or 50 full minutes of looking at your screen, looking for the slightest change in pixel. And from the looks of things, we're going to more of a neutral map, one that we've seen a few times here, but also isn't quite as common. From the looks of things, we're seeing some of the same players that we've seen time and time again. I mean, the Cypher, pretty standard pick here. The Jet, also kind of a gimme as well. But I feel like we should come to expect that. We've seen these teams so many times now, and if there was any time for these guys to pull out all the stops, it would definitely be now.
Indeed. I feel like, 13-6 for both teams. I feel like this one might just be the closest one out of them. Now both teams knowing what to expect from each other. We're going to go into this first pistol round, 30 seconds on the buy phase, and a lot of time to see what's going to happen. Looks like at least one ghost is going to come out on the side of, I believe, Zama.
Yeah, Giannitas, looks like Zama is going to be playing a little bit towards the B side. Definitely a favorite for a lot of these players. It's pretty easy to get through, but it's also pretty easy to get swarmed with that high area along the middle there. And with only really one entrance to it, blocked off by that Cypher, it's going to be pretty hard to get in. But if anyone can do it, Clove is definitely the operator you want to be in your arsenal for that.
Absolutely. Getting into this first round, though, it is going to be B-site that they're going to start off on. Clove, you can see her getting ready to push down some smokes. Same with Omen. It's going to be just a few seconds in and out. They're going to opt to rotate what looks to be
but they're gonna
through
see
mid,
Zentex.
but they see Reyna.
That might be a little difficult, but now it looks like the Vise is rotating out towards A. Hunter goes out from Paradox, doesn't quite find anyone, but it seems to be a fake rotation. Zentex looking to catch somebody off guard, but Kentenchi is trying to rotate through. Zentex finds two! Papadelic and Paradox both go down to the spray through. Giannitas finds one on Sun Tzu, but Ovo Sound Radio is just trading people out left and right. Zama loses. Guam manages to take the pistol round.
Oh, I thought that was going to look good for Zama, or no, Guam.
The spray and pray through the smoke,
Getting
too.
two of them. I think Zentex actually got a few more before she went out right at the end. No, Kenteshi got Zentex. Regardless, though, an amazing first pistol round for Guam going into the second one.
Yeah, finding that many kills in your first round and taking that little losses. I believe only 2 ended up going down there. Looks like the Marshal is going to come out. Trailblazer from the sky trying to scope out the area, but the smoke does go down. Canute looking to rotate around, but Din Tai Fung is right there waiting with the Spectre. Doesn't manage to pop it out in time. Kenteshi gets the kill and a little bit of an upgrade to the weapon. But the wall bang almost takes out Giannitas. And we're going to have to see how that goes. Unfortunately, falls. I don't know if the plant was the right decision there with so many people around. Sun Tzu finding one on Kenteshi, but Paradox able to trade it out. Canute also falling to Ovo Sound Radio, and Zama is down a player. Paradox starts the plant, but I think it's going to be just a little too late. And now Paradox falls. Spike doesn't get planted, and Guam manages to secure themselves quite the eco boost. I say eco and not ego because it's only round 2.
No, but I'm sure Guam, I think they're feeling really good right now, already getting the first 2 rounds into this game 3, trying to gain momentum early. But anything can happen. I mean, we've seen 2 rounds go up and then, you know, the other team gain rounds back, tied up, and eventually go into the lead.
From the looks of things, Zama went with a full buy, 5 assault rifles to start out this round, and Guam is playing a little bit more passive. The Marshal does go out from the Din on the other side, doesn't find anybody, but they know where they are. Zama still pushing forward. Cerulean playing deep in A site, but he's going to get caught off guard. He's not going to be able to do that thing again. Canute finds it. Papadelic and Paradox holding down the fort as Zentex is trying to sneak their way in and might just catch someone off guard, but Papadelic finds him. Ovo Sound Radio, quick to return the favor, taking out Kenteshi as well, but 2 players left for Guam. That is quite the deficit, especially if Ovo goes down too.
Din Tai Fung, the last one, and not with the most preferable gun, a Sheriff and a Spectre. And just like that, Canoe with the Vandal.
With a quad too. I believe only 1 member of Zama died that round. That's going to be quite the boost to their economy, especially because of all the kills they got in the last round. Looks like Guam, on the other hand, is going to be trying out the full buy here. They win this round, and I'd say Zama has 1 good round left of full buy, but other than that, Guam will be set up really well if they manage to win. But if they lose, that's all their money gone.
It sure is, but Zama are going to be happy with that first round win, trying to close the gap. They're going to try and push B. Canute leading the charge. Have to watch out for that trip. They're going to trip it instead.
Sun Tzu finds it.
Walls. Ovo's going to get another one. And They were able to get Spike again, and it looks like they're going to potentially make a slow rotation out. Transferring that Spike over to Cypher, as they do indeed attempt to make a rotation.
Oh, but Zentex is waiting there. He's trying to do something, and he finds one on Kenteshi before the Leer can take effect. That's gotta hurt. Papadelic trying to find a kill just to even things out a little bit, and he just can't seem to see anything, but out comes two. Din Tai Fung falls, and now Zentex is in a very bad spot. He still manages to find one, and with a little bit of a speed boost getting to get out of there, but on low health is gonna have to back out. Papadelic does still have the spike, so they didn't lose that. But Ovo is waiting, and with the crosshair placement, just takes their head off. Defenders take that round, and Guam expands their lead to 2.
They sure do. What great defense. Not even allowing Zama to get that plant off.
Yeah, and taking out another person with you while in a disadvantageous situation like this one, too. That was just great, and he even managed to live through it as well. Zentex just knew how to play that one right, so that way it wouldn't result in maybe a less favorable situation. And Cerulean Knight sitting deep in A has to help as well. It means you got to pretty much be super aware of where everybody is at all times, because you know this guy is lurking. He's been doing it almost every round, but it looks like that's still not catching up to him. Cerulean Knight manages to take out Canute right as they run in, and Empress does end up getting popped on Zama's side. Giannitas finding one on Zentex, but is it going to be enough? Ovo Sound Radio moving in from the back. Doesn't seem to want to commit, but Jet is still holding that angle with the Marshal.
Coming down to a minute left. Zama up by one operator. Or by one agent.
Oh no, they're even. It's 4-4.
Oh, I don't know why, but I thought Guam was down 2. My eyes are deceiving me. It's too late. But Giannitis,
Cerulean Knight
look at the
popped their
side.
head
They're
out.
going to get Cerulean Knight. And now they're down. But they're going to try and push Sky.
Oh, but no one's around to
Flashes
protect the
Ovo, gets
plant.
one.
Spike down A.
Through the
Paradox.
smoke. He sees Sky for a split second. He's going to see Brandon. He's going to get him. He knows that Sky's around there. Oh, but Cypher also there. Jet, the last one.
Can't do the third. Neural Theft does come out just to find this Jet. Jet is on 100 though, and it's going to be a really uphill battle to get to the spike from where he's at on high ground, especially with all the cover that's situated around there too.
100 with a Marshal. This could be interesting.
Yeah, but he might just be picking up something else from the looks of things. Having a sniper is fun in games until you're the last one
picked up
up,
the Vandal.
and he did pick up the Vandal. That makes a little bit more sense, but smoke's coming up from Clove. Spike ticking down, not a ton of time left for Guam. But at the same time, if Zama goes down with the Spike, they'll be in pretty much the same position that Guam is in. Both of them, this is the round that will define economies. But with the Spike just about to go down, Guam decides to back off, let the Spike go down, and Paradox just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Spike goes off and they're gone. But 2 Vandals were saved from the last round, and that should help out with economy even just a little bit.
Sure will. Like I said, I mean, so far these teams are proving me right, being the closest so far. Even though it's 5 rounds in, they're still making sure to make it interesting, keeping it close. I think the other thing to note is that there is an ult on either side. You have Blades on the side of Zama, and then you have Omen.
Still in sight.
Yeah, and from the looks of things, Zama has the worst guns too. 2 pistols as compared to Guam's 1, but the knives come out from Canute, looking for just somebody peeking their head up through the vents there. Mid-vent is a dangerous spot to be in for both attackers and defenders, and if you can take someone out there, that is a weight off of your shoulders. It's one less player to worry about, and it's also one less player for your team to worry about while rotating through.
Sure is popping smokes, not using the ult quite yet. Trying to determine where this Zama team is going, and it looks like an initial rush onto B with
spray.
a follow-up that has Spike. Close, looking to put it down. Kenteshi with the wall bang is going to get one.
Brought a sniper to an assault rifle fight, and unfortunately it's in such a small area that would be incredibly hard, but Ovo manages to find Canute, and during their, I think that was also during their ultimate ability as well. So that means knives are off the table. Sun Tzu finding one on Kenteshi to even things out, but Paradox holding that angle. Same with the Cypher, finds one, but not enough. He can't find the other two, but
There's one.
Giannitas finds the one he needs. Spike is slowly ticking down, and now it's up for him to guess which angle Zentex is going to pop, and he guesses
Well, they're going to use
right.
it. They're going to use it.
Oh, he's going to use it, but is it going to be enough? Nope.
No.
He's going to hunt him down, but Spike is still ticking down, and he did win it.
There you go.
Just barely.
Just barely. Just buying enough time.
The ult lasted for just long enough. And that's sometimes all you need. All you need is another 3 or 4 seconds to make sure that plant can't go off. And the fact it got Zentex as well, that also means one less gun on the table to bring over. But it seems like the side of Zama has the slight economy advantage here in comparison.
Yeah,
Ovo is going to be sticking with just the pistol, and two marshals are coming out, as we are now even 3-3. Ooh, Canute flexing the better gun option, though, taking out one, dashing out of the way of Zentex before catching one herself. The Seekers do come out from Sky, nothing's found with them, but Ovo did reveal his general location. Kenteshi looking to rotate through, or might be looking to rotate through vent, through A lobby, but you just never quite know. These players are really good at sneaking around. Looks like they're going to try and retake the A site here. The Brambles from Vise are still in the middle there. Canute, though, able to find Zentex before anything can happen, and also force Cerulean Knight out of their hiding spot after popping their ultimate. Canute also finding Ovo Sound Radio before the ultimate comes into effect. Primaries jammed. Cerulean Knight finds one on Giannitas, but doesn't see Kenteshi. And now it is all up to Cypher from Guam.
4v1 situation. Zama in the favorable lead right now. Spike planted. All they have to do is waste time. And Sun Tzu doesn't want any of that. He's going to keep his Vandal. He's going to try and just stay safe for the rest of this plant. And for the rest of this round, Zama are actually going to take the lead.
Cypher was like, I am going to get as far away from that thing as possible. I do not want any part of that 1v4. And, you know, in the position he's in, that's probably the better choice. Buy your teammate a Vandal with the money if you have it, and hopefully you have equal guns for the next round. And also, having 4 players survive from Zama means a lot less time spent trying to regain that. But does look like a timeout's going to start from the side of Guam. Just a little bit of a... just to wait for just a minute to see what are we doing, what could we improve upon on our strategy, how is this not working, and what can we do? Yeah,
and especially getting that initial lead, just to drop it and now go down by a round going into the 8th round. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty good spot to take a timeout, you know, kind of recoup, you know. I mean, after 2 full games, we were talking about it earlier, the endurance of these players, making sure that they can last this long. They got to make sure that they can stay in the most, or the best possible mental state they can going forward.
Yeah, you're just over halfway through the first round. If there's any time to use a timeout, now is the time. You're only down 1, but they did mount a 4-point comeback. And Zama's kind of been known for this. And even in their Rocket League series, they were pretty good at coming back from pretty large loss deficits. And they exemplified it in Valorant, of all things. So being able to notice when maybe a comeback is starting, and also stopping some of the mental pressure that Zama has built up a little bit for themselves. Like, they're starting to get into the groove. That can sort of break it up, and that would be a great time to use it. And from the looks of things, both teams are going to be going in with their preferred guns of choice.
Should be a fairly evenly matched round, getting to see who's going to be the better ones with those Vandal choices. You can see Sun Tzu able to keep that one he grabbed from the previous round. Let's see if Guam can recover after that much-needed time
Zentex
out.
trying to sneak around,
Through the
doesn't quite
walls,
find
not gonna get
anything,
one.
but Din Tai Fung does. Zentex finding one from behind on Papadelic. It just feels like if ever that Reyna gets behind you, there are kills to be found. And Zama is learning that the hard way, apparently. Paradox trying to keep the rest of his team safe, just covering the angles. Clove Smoke goes down. And now they're going to have to mount a pretty impressive comeback, but Ovo is going to take one down before he does. Same with Din Tai Fung as well. It is just Sky left.
Ooh.
And there we go. Maybe the break was all Guam needed. They just needed a little bit of a rest.
A little bit of a breather, take a sip of water, regain, recoup.
Break the mojo just a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I see timeouts mainly used for. Sure, it can be used for strategic, like team strategies, trying to figure out what you're going to do next. But it's also a great use of just killing your opponent's momentum, especially when they've gone up 3-4 rounds like this. And even in Rocket League, I see it in best of sevens, like when they take a timeout and you see a team go 2 up, the other team will take a timeout. They'll cut that momentum and they'll go into the next game fresh.
Yeah, that's just the best way to do it. And then you start to mount your own comeback, and then it forces the other team into that same state you were in, where they have to take a timeout, and then nobody's got timeouts, and then it's just a slugfest back and forth with mentals not quite where you'd want them to be.
Yeah.
Sun Tzu still holding down that point, but Kenteshi's going to find the first kill on Ovo. Ovo being one of the players that is able to get 2 or 3 kills before going down, that is not a player you want to lose, especially with all the smokes and utility Omen gets. But with 4 players coming out of A-side vent, it's going to be hard for Cerulean Knight to get through it. Almost finds one, but not quite enough. A is wide open for the taking, and Giannitas is going to take it with everything he's got.
Plenty of time for any of these players on the side of Guam even having a chance. You can see 2 coming through.
Ooh, double, he gets 1.
Oh, and he's going to get Tai Tai Fung, the better one out of that trade because they had the ult. Sun Tzu's going to get 1. Got to watch out for the right, and not even seeing Canute come through the smoke. And Zama taking that round.
The double commit off of the vent play here on vent A is definitely what you want to see. You know somebody's holding that angle, you want somebody to shoot first. But when you're already at a player deficit, you don't have bodies to lose. It makes sense for Zama to pull something like that to get the Cypher to show himself, but at that point you really just want to be trying to cover as many angles as possible and not trying to go for the double commits where you're just pretty much giving the other team at least 1 charge for their ult, which is nothing to scoff at when many of the ults in this game are only 7 or 8.
That is true. Seeing several ults here, and the Empress on the side of Zama being used. Sun Tzu not able to see anything through the smokes and the walls, is going to be the only one on B site, holding that one firmly. We are going to see a rotate out of Zama to B site. They're going to go. They're going to try and claim this one. I feel like A site has been their bread and butter so far.
Oh,
and there's
he's looking the wrong way.
What a shot from Canute downrange, and a second one onto Zanetex.
Through the Leer, too.
Ovo throwing a smoke onto side. They knew Sky was there. They could hear the plant.
He he sniffed him out. Just manages to get him. But now 2 players rotating out. Din Tai Fung goes out of the smoke and manages to get it with the ult.
There's a second.
Canute and Kenteshi both falling on the high ground, and high ground has pretty much been given up. Zama only has 2 players left, but so does Guam, and Guam is significantly less healthy than Zama is.
That is true. Both Jet and Cypher needing just 1 bullet each, trying to wallbang out of Jet. Nothing's gonna hit for Giannitas.
Nothing quite found. Cypher no one knows where Cypher is, but Giannitas goes down.
1v1.
Cypher versus Jet.
Gotta watch
low
that
health.
corner.
Oh, but Papadelic gets it. Managing to get the 3 and saving the round. But I do think he went down to Spike there on accident. Yes, he did. That's unfortunate losing that gun, but very fortunate. Oh yeah, Spike went off at the very last second.
I didn't notice.
I mean, Papadelic, he did a really good job, but at the same time, Din Tai Fung has that little bit of reassurance knowing even if he did get the kill, there probably wasn't a way for him to get the spike off anyway. So it really wasn't him that lost the 1v1, it was the spike that lost the 1v1.
True. Yeah. We are going to see a shorty come out of this one.
Get out of my
Quite a few
way.
pistols. You can see, what was that, a last second Marshall?
Guam really tends to like their marshals, but with Zentex peeking out through that smoke, it might just be what they need. You never know. The marshal is incredibly powerful when placed into the right hands. Kenteshi is looking to contest that middle hallway, but Zentex didn't see it. Preoccupied by Giannitis, who manages to get the kill. Canute manages to find one with their knives, but is quickly taken out by Din Tai Fung, who's also taken out. The shotgun comes out on Kenteshi. It just doesn't deal enough damage. It is now all up to Cerulean with the outlaw of all guns to take this round. Not quite what you want to see. The outlaw is a good gun, but it only has 2 shots in the chamber, and unfortunately for him, Papadelic is going to get him before the pop shots even go off. Zama is up 7-4 in the penultimate round before the swap.
Yeah, approaching that halfway mark, and Zama getting that lead, almost reminiscent of game 1.
It seems like when Zama is really feeling themselves, they feel themselves hard. We've seen it here. They were at 4-4 at the end of that intermission. They went up to 5. Then they just kind of ran away with it from there. This is the last round before the swap here. All the money is going to get pooled out, and same with the ultimates too. Clove has her ult once again, and Cypher his. A lot more utility on the side of Zama.
Very true, and there's a first kill out of Giannitis. Tai Fung also recovering out of that one. And the ult coming out of Clove. Every ult coming out. Neural Theft and Seekers coming out for Sky.
Ooh, Zentex gets found out on the flank. Giannitis unable to get the kill, but it's still a 2v1. Ovo hasn't used a lot of his abilities yet. He hasn't used his teleport. He hasn't used paranoia yet. He's got his smoke back, but with 2 players, he has no idea where they are. Cypher with the intel knows where he is though, and Sky on the high ground after Ovo kind of gave it up. And it's going to result in the kill. Zama manages to take Ovo Sound down and take the final round going into the second pistol round. Let's see if Zama can recreate the magic on defense.
Yes, we will be able to see, and here we go.
And a timeout.
The other side of that timeout. We're going to see what Guam can do to, kind of regain and see if they can't get themselves like a mental reset.
Yeah, reconfigure themselves a little bit, get themselves back in the right mindset. I mean, losing several times in a row is never very fun, and when you lose it to seemingly the same mistakes, going off on your own, taking bad angles, and sometimes even the spike if you get lucky, but it's never very fun. But that's why these timeouts come in such great handy. We're able to halt the progress of the enemy team's mental fortitude. Or they're like, yes, let's keep going, let's keep going. They want to keep going because they're pushing the advantage, but we say, we're going to take timeout. You got to wait.
Yeah, they do have to wait, but who knows? Maybe like we were talking about earlier, maybe this could be the break of momentum. And maybe Guam can start making a comeback.
Maybe. It's definitely not insurmountable. We've seen larger leads before. 8-4 is nothing to scoff at, but it's also nothing that can't be climbed. Guam now on offense. They actually had a pretty good offensive run in the first round, if I remember right. And on Sunrise, they also did pretty well, closing out the game on offense. And from their position, they need 9 wins, which sounds like a lot. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a ton. It could be a lot more. And Zama has 4 rounds before they are in the potential of winning here. And you never know. A lot of stuff can happen in 4 rounds.
There is a lot of things that can happen in 4 rounds. We can either get a tie or a match point. For right now, Guam are going to be looking to aim for that tie. Smokes, walls going out left and right. You can see.
Ooh, but Canute through the wall.
Left and right. Sun Tzu getting 2. Canute getting Sun Tzu for the trade. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And defenders We're going to get that one. Wukong smashing the ground.
And that's not fair. They had a 6th person. Wukong can't just come in there and get a kill like that. That's not fair. But this one just went so fast. It was hard to tell what happened. Canute gets 1 kill. Ovo Sound goes down. Sun Tzu finds 2. Den gets killed by Canute. Then you get Canute with 2 more getting taken down by Tindai. And then 1 more to finish it out. That one was a lightning fast round if there ever was one.
Indeed. But Guam, they're going to continue. This time they're going to divert their attention to A site again. They're going to see what they can do here. See, Vise has that spike. I do want to... Vise is a really interesting character to see because when they came out last year, looking at their abilities, their flash, their wall, and their brambles, I thought that was a really interesting
It's kind of like an amalgamation of a bunch of different kits.
It really is, but it works really well because it's able to do damage and it's able to eliminate players and limit their mobility.
But it's not able to stop 2 headshots from going through. No. Cerulean Knight is able to take 1 down for the count, but it's still a 4v2, and now all the defenders know where Guam is attacking that site. Ovo Sound Radio looking to do something. Paranoia does go out, forcing Genius and Paradox to back off. It's one of the few that we've actually seen go through, and Cerulean Knight actually finds one on Paradox.
Ovo, they're just waiting in vent. They're going to see if they can peek out and
30 seconds
be
left.
safe in it. They're going to try and rotate to B. Vise right behind them.
Ooh, Cypher on B stairs, though. Looking to catch him before the zip line. If he can't take out 2, he can at least take out 1. Omen has no idea. He finds it, and he gets Cerulean too. That's a double, bringing Zama to not to match point, but to double digits. 3 away. And Guam is really struggling to find their flow.
You could just tell how happy Papadelic was after getting that kill. Just seeing how fast he was shaking his mouse.
Papadelic predicted that one perfectly.
Great positioning. Omen not recognizing that box right there, getting 1, and then getting the second one right there, just flicking all over the place, having a great time. I mean, they're excited. They are 3 rounds away from crowning themselves DoDEA Valorant champions. But Guam, they're looking to say something else about it.
Yeah, Genie just pulling up the smokes, not wanting to use them quite
Nobody has
yet.
spike.
Yeah, nobody does have the... Oh, wait, yeah, it's being left. They might just be rotate. It looks like they're doing a rotate over to B, which might be getting faked, so that way they can pick up the spike a little bit later.
Potentially.
I mean, that would be my best guess. I don't know what other reason you'd have to not pick up the spike, but seems like a lot of the angles are currently being covered. Giannitas holding down this middle angle pretty well, and it's really hard to get up to that mid vent with somebody pressuring it so hard. Zentex trying to find her way up. Lear does go out. It hits Kenteshi, but doesn't really do anything, especially with the Omen smoke going up too. Both teams kind of at a stalemate here. Only 50 seconds left to go. Din Tai Fung is able to get the rotate, and Canute finds one on Cerulean. Now Sun Tzu is trying to find it on Canute. He's only at 1, and he finds it, but not before taking a little bit of damage himself. Ovo Sound Radio rotating through the smoke there, and looks like Cypher is going to start setting this up, but Kenteshi, like a horror villain, is just right there to ruin their plans. Papadelic is able to find one on Zentex, and Din Tai Fung is forced to commit. Ovo finds one on Giannitas, though. Proves how dangerous that Shorty can be.
Shorty can be very dangerous, especially up close like that. That smoke almost worked. Kenteshi getting that one. Jet, the only one left. Din Tai Fung, they have spike planted. All they have to do is guard, be careful. But what looks to be just only equipped with a pistol, it's going to be a tough battle.
Kenteshi is also rotating in from the other side. He gets Papadelic, but does he find Din Tai Fung? Looks like a little bit of a teabag's going through, and that might just be his downfall. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't quite get the kill. How did that not go through?
5 health.
They're not going to be able to get the defuse either, but they are going to be able to take Din Tai Fung out for the good measure.
They're not going to have time.
But just not quite enough for the spike to go down. Guam puts their first point up in the round. I'm surprised that didn't kill though. That seems a little silly.
That should have been a kill.
No, it's because it hit the elbows. You see, Jet holds up her elbows just a little bit too high when holding up her pistol. It's like some character models in other hero shooters where they hold like their hands in front of their head, so they have smaller head box kit.
Oh.
Yeah, Kiriko in Overwatch. I've got to find a way to sneak that game in here sometime. All right, looks like we're doing the same ace strat, but they're actually taking the bomb this time.
They are going to have it in their position. Once again, carried by Cerulean.
Kenteshi still holding that angle and not able to find the kill on Sun Tzu. Paranoia does come out, which is going to blind, but Trailblazer also does, getting the not the decay, but the debuff. 2 kills traded out for both teams. Giannitas going crazy. It is a 1v1. Cypher v Cypher. Neural theft for both teams goes out. They know exactly where each other are.
This is the epitome of a 1v1, where you both know where each other are, and it's just who's going to hit their shot.
But Spike has not been planted.
That is true. Spike was dropped at the back of sight.
Yeah, this is going to make it a little bit harder. Sun Tzu has to not only face Papadelic while trying to get the spike down, but Papadelic can hear when the spike starts, and he can use that to his advantage. But also, it's not stopping Guam from being able to
get it.
Fake it out a little bit.
30 seconds left.
They have time to
Ooh,
plant,
the plant
though.
tries to go down, doesn't quite do anything, but he...
Oh!
What a shot!
And this is what Guam wants. This is their comeback story, getting it up to 6 and 10, 4-round difference. What a play, using the camera, getting the target off, and then just making that quick flick onto them. Ooh, perfect.
Nasty. But what a good shot, too. That was an incredible showing, taking what honestly should have been a win for Zama and just making it a Guama W for that round anyway. But Zama does have the ult advantage. Jet knives do come out. Empress soon to be used too. Lear does come out. It helps find Paradox, or Kenteshi goes down to Zentex, but another kill gets traded out on the side of Guam as well. Just tons of kills being entered, and Cerulean Knight manages to get the plant really fast, but Giannitas with the Marshall kill on Din Tai Fung. Papadelic looking to rotate around. Canute finding one on Ovo.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, she gets 2 with knives. Cerulean Knight getting one back.
Another.
Whew.
Okay, Zama has found their groove once again. They're up 12-6, trading it out, hoping for a little bit of ult, or 11-6 for a little bit of ult charge. Now, all they have to do is 2 more rounds. They've stopped the mojo. Guam might have won 2 rounds, but Zama's going to have a little bit of an advantage. They've got Empress, and from the looks of things, they're going to have Neural Theft going into this. I thought it was popped during the last round that Guam won, but I was mistaken. It was just Guam.
There is no Neural Theft, actually.
There isn't?
No, you have...
I must have been looking at a different ult then.
Nope, you have Empress, Extra Life, and then 4 on the side of Guam.
Ooh, yeah. Really big ult advantage, but Cypher only needs 1 in order to find his. That could be a tide turner depending on who wants to use their ults first. And how they do go out too, because a lot of these ults are very skill dependent. Like for instance, Clove, you need a kill in order to keep yourself going. It's not just a free revive, because I feel like that would be a little overpowered even for an ultimate. I mean, at least Sage can't revive herself with hers.
Yeah.
But you also have both Reynas with ultimates too, looking to improve their own combat potential as well. Same with Omen, and Vise is just a big, nah, you can't use the guns that you bought, you gotta use your pistols. So I hope you invested well.
Is it just me, or is the timer not? There it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was taking so long. I'm like, are we just gonna stare at Cypher trying to place a tripwire this whole time? Or like...
Oh, yeah, it's really, you don't want to learn how to place tripwires?
Well, it took like 30 seconds and the clock never moved from 27. I was like, what's happening? Is it too late?
It's the Twilight Zone.
I'm losing it. But getting into this now, Zama, they're gonna be looking for their match point game. Guam Immediately having blades go out, and along with
Empress.
Empress.
That's 2. Paranoid does go out. It does find the sky. But so does the flash onto the team, preventing him from moving forward for just a little bit, though. Cypher Cage comes out, trying to spray through with the sky.
Rise.
Ooh, Rise as well, but it gets no one.
Doesn't.
Tripwire does get triggered for Cypher, but it's not going to matter. It's still 5-5. No ults have really done anything quite yet, and Empress gets popped on the side of Zama as well. Two kills go out. Ooh, Zentex finds 1 too. Genitas getting the revive. Doesn't manage to get revived though. And now Guam still has the advantage here. Zentex finds the 1, and there we go. Attackers manage to win it.
What a back and forth that round was. Guam able to come out on top, bringing that gap back to 4.
Man, talk about a ult dump fight. We had 2 ults on the side of Guam, and I think 2 on the side of Zama too, yeah, with the Empress. So it'll be interesting to see what all goes out next time. Omen is the only one with an ultimate left in the side of Guam, but Zama has Neural Theft now. And Sky also has Seekers, and while it's not the best ultimate ability in the game, it does give you some really good information.
It does, but now that you're not going crazy and there is a Neural Theft in play, we will be able to see what's going to happen here. Everybody's going to race towards A. Lots of smokes, lots of walls. Kateshi able to get Dai Tai Fong, and Papadelic able to get one as well. Before getting killed by Zanetex. Guam already down to 2 players. Zanetex not looking low enough.
Focused on the right person, just not quite at the right time. Unfortunately, with Vise going down, so does that flash, and it allows the defender Canute to take out Ovo Sound Radio. Match point Zama.
And already, without a doubt, the closest of all 3 games. Even if this next round goes to Zama, it'll be 13-7, which is closer than the last 2 being 13-6s. So,
That is true.
I guess in some sort of way, I was right. It was going to be the closest out of the 3.
It is, and it won't quite be the closest though, because actually, Zama went 10-12 against Guam in one of their old matches, so maybe we'll see a repeat of that too.
Potentially.
Looks like Paradox on the Sky getting ready to use the blind. Lear getting drawn out by Zentex. Is it going to find anybody, though? The blind does come out from Sky, doesn't quite find anyone. Another Lear used, not finding anyone, though. That is 2 blinds from the side of Guam out. Out comes the Seeker. Doesn't see anybody, though, but he knows somebody is there. 2 ultimates left. How will they be used?
And no kills quite yet. This might be where it changes, though. Ovo. Gotta be careful of that Sky around the corner. Vise popping down a bramble. Seeker's going out. There's the
one
first
does
kill.
find his mark.
Nobody on the side of Guam, though, falling for that Neural Theft to have a chance of being popped.
Oh, but Sky manages to find one on Dai Tai Fung. There goes the popping, and there goes Ovo. Sun Tzu and Zentex, though, are quick to follow up. Enemy positions are downloaded, and is all up to Papadelic. And I don't know if this is going to be a great spot for him to be.
It's going to be interesting. He's got 12 health and a dream. But by the looks of it, he's going to do what he did earlier and just say sayonara. And he's going to let
la pasta.
He's going to let Guam get this round, putting them up 8-12.
Yeah, 5 seconds left in the round, and just nothing you can quite do there if you are Zama. Cypher is a good character, but he's not quite the initiator type. That's why he's in the Sentinel. That's why he's a Sentinel. But we did see pretty good play out of that neural network. We saw a really good kill off of Sky. It was just a little too late. And also with Reyna getting those 2 kills at the very end there, just forcing Zama out of that high ground, and it gave Guam the win in the end. It gave Guam a round win in the end, so it couldn't have been all bad.
No, it could not have. I feel like it's just back and forth right now, Zama and Guam.
Looks like they're trying to go for a wallbang with Sun Tzu. He's not quite finding anything. Omen Smoke preventing a lot of stuff from going through. And now it's just going to be a really slow game to go through.
It is, but with over a minute left, Guam is not pressured for time right now. And the first kill is going to go out. Zintek's getting one, almost getting two.
Finding a second.
Spike down.
Jet
A.
right behind her.
Healing does go out from Sky though. Just a little bit of help preserving that one healing, the one healing orb that you get. Canute is unable to find anything. Din Tai Fung is going to find the kill instead. Guam has the man advantage, and from the looks of things, they're going to grab that spike that they dropped and rotate back to A.
Traveling.
Ooh, almost a pop out of Omen using a good teleport. Now Sky doesn't know where Omen is. 3v4 in favor of Guam. Paradox turning the corner. He's going to win that one. Bringing it down to 3-3. Cypher getting one on Papadelic.
Cutting their vision.
From the looks of things, Spike goes down. Zama with only 2 left. So
getting
Ruby
one.
Knight finding one more. It is all up to one player on Zama. They're gonna find one, but is it gonna be enough? No. Kenteshi falls to Sun Tzu, bringing it 9-12.
And this is the momentum that Guam needs going into it. Now with 2 ults to their name, they have Empress and Neural Theft. A lot of information and battle enhancing ults, trying to help them out. Seeing if they can bring themselves up to a double-digit round.
Yeah, from the looks of things, the side of Zama is going to have to take a little bit worse guns here. Eco just a little bit more, but looking for the win here, they might as well just go all out. Guam has a significant advantage, full heavy shields and Vandal for every single member of their team, plus 2 ults and full abilities as well. They have a lot of stuff to work with in their toolbox. Lear goes out from Kenteshi. Nothing's found except for a very large amount of damage on Cypher. Lear goes out from the side of Guam. Also nothing found, but a lot of damage being taken from Zama, with no kills really being traded except for right now. Ovo Sound Radio finding Canute.
3v3, a lot of damage on the side of Zama. They have to be careful here. It's a 2v2. Both Empresses coming out.
Location is revealed though.
Oh,
Zentex finds it.
can get one.
Can Papadelic?
Cypher
No.
doesn't get it.
Man, I feel like they're putting a lot of pressure on Papadelic. Every single time it comes down to the round-winning situation, it's always him. Just unfortunately, no one has really been able to crack it. We are currently 10-12, closer to overtime than we've ever come in this 3-round series. We have seen overtime before, but Zama needs to find a way to put this game away.
We did see a timeout earlier tonight. That one going 16-14. Right now, we're going to see another timeout.
From the side of Paradox, too, so it's going to be Zama taking this one.
Yeah, Zama are going to take this one. They're realizing, hey, this should not be happening. We've been on 12 rounds for about 4 right now, and we should have had this.
Yeah, we should have had this 3 rounds ago.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it just goes to show how good Guam has been. They've been keeping their economy up. And honestly, going into that last round, I'm surprised that Zama was able to do as well as they did. 5 Vandals, nothing to really scoff at there. And while they did manage to take out 3, that's a lot of economy gone from the side of Guam. They also really aren't going to be able to recuperate after that. They're going to have to take some worse guns for a round or 2, and that might take us to overtime just because of a gun deficit.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Going into round 23, will Zama finally get that quintessential 13th round and claim victory, or will Guam put it one more round closer to an overtime?
You know, I hope we don't see an overtime, just because, like, it's a lot of Valorant for the day, and I congratulate these players for making it this far, but at the same time, it's got to end at some point here. Cerulean Nyko finding one on Kenteshi with the better gun, trying to get the kill on Canute, but finds the kill anyway.
Spike is going to go down.
From behind Canute.
Cypher gets one.
Oh my
2v2
goodness.
now.
It's a 2v2. Din Tai Fung, blades go out. Ovo
And
is
it's a
up on
2v1.
high ground here.
2v1
Can he
with
find
blades.
the kill? Out goes the clouds from the Jet.
got
And he
one.
finds one. It is a 1v1. Jet v Jet. And is he going to find it?
Yes, they're gonna get it!
He finds the kill to end the round. He just needs to stick the defuse. So Jet with the ace to finish it off and the clutch. What a way to run a railroad and end the round. Wow.
Was that supposed to be a fight?
I am speechless. 2v1 scenario. Gets the Cypher kill with the blades, and then Jet v Jet, just a tap to the head with the pistol.
Jeez. I saw him use the ability to throw all the knives. I saw the miss. I was like, oh no, it's going to round 24. But no, he whips out the good old classic. The classic, if you will. I've used this joke before, but it's funny nonetheless. And he wins it with a headshot of all things and an ace to end it out. Oh man, I gotta calm down.
You gotta take a
gotta
breather.
calm down.
Take a breather. But congratulations to Zama High School for winning this Valorant Grand Finals and crowning yourself DoDEA champions. Now, before we let you guys go, we do get to talk to two of the players. You can talk to two of the players of the game, and we will get to see what their thoughts are.
Oh, we are talking about players of the game. We're talking about some of their highlights here. I do understand the confusion, though. And just coming out of here, all of these players played to their fullest here. And honestly, you couldn't have asked for two better teams to go up against one another when it came down to it.
And I've got to say, Knut and that Jet combo was deadly. But right now we got to look at Zayntex. So many kills. Reyna being able to use a lot of Empress ults, utilizing all of those things. And right here you can see she's just chasing down Clove, not even giving her a second chance.
It may not have ended in a round win, but at the same time, they were able to bleed out a very important ult out of Giannitas. Having that rebirth completely gone while it was good to win the round, it probably could have been used elsewhere.
Absolutely, but being able to force it like they did, get that kill was huge.
And here we go. Player of the game is going to Knut. Or actually, who is it going to? We're kind of swapping around from... Oh, it is going to Knut. We just got it told. And honestly, it is well-deserved. From this play alone, he may not have gotten all of the kills in it, but he was still able to just deal a ton of damage. And also in every single round where he was the last man standing, you could bet that he was going to be a huge playmaker just as a whole in these rounds. And honestly, I think he was one of the main reasons that the duelists from the side of Zama were able to get so far into these rounds and keep the pressure mounted, even when it looked like they were at a deficit.
I would absolutely agree. And I feel like for Knut, I feel like their ability to use the full potential of Jet with their movement and the op, even when it came to ults, I mean, you saw right there at the last second in that last round, they had that knife kill and then popping the game winner.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of celebration on Knut's part tonight.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I were his teammate, I'd buy him dinner. Just saying. I mean, to be honest, an ace, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
An ace on the final round, that's even more impressive. But an ace on the final round with the spike just about to go off, that is incredible. And Knut, well-deserved player of the game. You earned it, man.
Well-deserved player of the game indeed, but... And after 3 long days of DoDEA broadcast, 2 days of round robin, and a day of bracket, that is going to be it for us.
Oh, wait, no.
Maybe?
We might just have a little bit more for you tonight.
Almost. We do want to say a thank you to the DoDEA admins as well. Appreciate you all. And thank you to USO for putting on this tournament for these high schoolers. And we want to say thank you all and have a great night. He's gonna keep picking this doorway. Hold the Raptor. Oh! Typhon the last one. He's gonna get that one. Oh!
There'll be plenty of time to defuse, but again, the fact that that was their bonus. Typhon's still waiting for any sort of audio cue to peek out with the Blade Storm. Newt finds it onto sound radio, and oh my goodness, the nice side angle from Giannitis works out beautifully as well. He picks up the double showstopper. Is leading, but the problem is they're very low on health. So one shot to that jet will take him out. Din Tai Fung only at 18 health.
Now both Omens get traded out. Din Tai Fung, last one, or not the last one. Zama has one player remaining, just being the Omen. Oh, one good headshot. Down. Reyna, or Raze, is jumping out, finds another one. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. That's just a remainder from the last fight there. But Guam now has to push A site without very much. But Din Tai Fung, how the smoke? Ovo finding another, but Paradox finding one on Sun Tzu. It is rounded up, but Ovo is going insane. It is Omen